looks for Deutsch. Deutsch at the one into the end zone. Field play action now. Look to pass over the middle. It's intercepted by Cole Hebel. Intercepted by Hebel. Rears back, comes downfield, has Rodriguez. Rodriguez at the 40 to the 50 to the 40. Rodriguez is going to keep going.
All right, Fetting's got room, and here's Bo Fetting. Fetting's still on his feet. Fetting's gone.
Looking to pass, playing off, coming left side, picked up by Cotton. Alex Cotton with the pick, he'll take it back and into the end zone.
Turn and hand the ball off. Will Starkey, he thunders his way. 30, 20, one man to beat. He's got the middle's got a man, that's Friddle. Look out, Friddle, 40, 30, he's loose, 20, 10, touchdown.
Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
Good Friday evening from Maple Valley for Maple River. This is high school football on the air tonight from Hope, North Dakota, as the Enderlin Eagles tangle with the Maple River Raiders here on this Friday evening as we get set and ready to go. And this is our Irie Insurance pregame show. For more information, you can go online to irieins.com. That again is irieins.com. It's officially a day into the fall equinox, which means playoff football in North Dakota is right around the corner, and a win here tonight for the Maple River Raiders would clinch them a spot in the postseason, while a win for the Enderlin Eagles, well, that keeps their playoff hopes alive. Tonight from Hope, North Dakota, it's homecoming night for the Raiders as they host and welcome the Enderlin Eagles here in 9B football. It's overcast skies currently in the upper 50s. You're going to have a little bit of wet conditions, at least on the football field. It was raining pretty good until we got to 6 o'clock, and right now, overcast and partly cloudy skies. Maple River 3-2 on the season, while the Enderlin Eagles at 1-4. Let's send it down now to Nathan Hoots, who is standing by with Enderlin head coach. That is Eric Bergquist. Nathan, take it away.
Hey, Coach Eric Bergstead of the Enderlin Eagles. What have you done this week to temper the emotions for this game between the players and teammates that they were a year ago?
Well, to be honest, we're not trying to temper them right now. We're trying to get my guys fired up, and they're excited to play these guys. They've had this game circled all year, and so I'm not really trying to dampen it. I want them to come out fired up and ready to play. So,
excellent answer. What has been the biggest change for you individually, moving from an assistant coach to the head coach this year?
Film watching, so much film watching. No, a lot of things. I mean, just all the minutia that goes into keeping everything organized and getting everything where it needs to be at the right place and right time. But the football part is kind of the same, but being in charge of all of it is a little different too. You know, I was the defensive guy before, and now I'm having to think about offense and special teams and all that kind of stuff. But
absolutely. All right. What kind of advantages or maybe even disadvantages do you think you'll have due to the fact that you coached half of the kids you'll be facing tonight?
Well, there's a little bit of envy when you see the good things that some of those kids are doing, and then they're not on your team. But, you know, there's a little bit of advantage in that you know some of their styles and what they like to do. But it's a new offense. It's a new, they got new teammates. I'm not banking too much on what they did last year for looking at this year. So,
sure. All right. Hey, give me a defensive game plan snapshot for the Raiders tonight.
Fill and tackle. We've been working on those two things, but really we got to stop Clay Holson. I mean, that's kind of everybody who plays these guys knows that. He's a heck of a running back, and we got to get bodies on him and arms around him and gang tackle and see what happens. So.
Absolutely. All right. I'll get you here out of here on this. If you can describe your team in one word, what is that?
Potential. We have a lot of guys who are real close to figuring out this game, being it's their first year of playing. And if we ever do that, we're going to have some ability on the field, but potential. We got to see if we can put that potential to work tonight. So.
All right. Very good. Good luck, Coach.
Thanks.
Chase, back up to you.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Again, that is the head coach for the Enderlin Eagles, Eric Bergstead, again with our own Nathan Hoots as we continue here on our Irie Insurance pregame show. As we mentioned, Maple River 3-2 on the season, 1-0 in Region 1 play following a 49-16 loss at the hands of Wildmere Lidgerwood a week ago here in Hopewell. Enderlin is 1-4 overall and 0-1 in Region 1 play after a 24-0 loss at the hands of Griggs Makota from Hendrickson Field in Enderlin. Nathan, you were on the sidelines talking with Eric there, as well as we mentioned a lot of rain that kind of came through the Red River Valley and also the eastern portion of North Dakota as well, but it's let off at about 6 o'clock. I don't really see too much, and I actually see the sun in the north and the west trying to peek through some of the clouds. Field conditions, if someone has to make a cutback, if there's maybe a hiked ball that we're going to see how many times here tonight in a shotgun or under center, will the weather conditions from earlier today play much of a hamper, or are the cleats going to be in full fall weather mode here this evening?
I think footing is going to be just fine. It seems like the water is drained off pretty nicely. What concerns me and coaches everywhere more is a slick football. The ball's going to be wet early. Ball boys are going to have to keep that ball as dry as possible, and falls on the officials to keep it dry in between plays as well. So hopefully, as long as the ball stays dry, things should be good down here.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see how this one starts off between two teams that know each other very much, as Nathan was talking about with Eric right there as well. Still to come on our Irie Insurance pregame show, we'll take a look at games across the region, also some key games here in Region 1 and Region 2 tonight, and we'll hear from Maple River football head coach. That's Larry Fontaine. When we return from Hope, it's the Enderlin Eagles and the Maple River Raiders. It's homecoming night here in Hope, North Dakota for 9B football on your live event.
There is another way to minimize your farm's risk and protect its equity with margin protection coverage. This is Bethany Rentz, crop insurance agent with Irie Insurance. Margin protection provides coverage against an unexpected decrease or increase in operating margin. In other words, we can put a policy in place to protect you from changing input costs and crop prices on your farm. Let us help you explore this option between now and September 30th to get you covered. For more information, go to irieins.com.
You're protected and appreciated at Irie.
My name is Jared, born and raised in Minnesota, and I'm a project director at Enbridge. Enbridge is more than a pipeline company. It's a company participating in renewable energy projects in Minnesota and abroad, and I'm really proud to be working here.
We believe a cleaner energy future is achievable. For over 20 years, we've been early adopters of renewable energy, and we're proudly committed to net zero emissions by 2050. To hear more from Jared, visit enbridge.com/Jared. That's JERRID.
We continue on our Irie Insurance pregame show, part of our Coach's Corner now. We are able to sit down with Maple River head coach. That is Larry Fontaine. And Larry, for you guys, I know this year in 9B, nine-man football, there's a lot few maybe region games than prior years. So I got to have a feeling maybe, Larry, from my point of view, that each region game almost kind of feels like a playoff game, because if you win, you go up the ladder. Obviously, you want to win your region, earn a bye into the 9B playoffs. If you lose, you're probably not going to win the region. The highest probably is you're going to be a 2 or a 3 seed. And then if you're over a 3, you're out. So does it kind of feel like when you play these region games, Larry, it's kind of a playoff game in and of itself a little bit here?
Yeah, we are done with our non-region games. We want to win this game this week. We want to get back on a roll after a tough loss last week against Wyndmere. And yeah, we understand. We went into the game, or we went into this year with a mindset. I told the boys what record I thought we end up with, and that's what we wanted to end up with. We have a goal, and that goal is to get to the regional championship game against Mayville, since it's our last game, and that was what we set at the beginning of the year. And this game with Enderlin will be the first test to get there. We can get through Enderlin, and then we can get through Griggs next week, and then we have the big showdown with Mayville for the region championship. So that's what our mindset is focused on right now.
You know, this week too, Larry, there's a lot of other distractions, you might say, right? There's homecoming, Enderlin. Some of these guys were teammates with some of the folks from the Maple Valley School District last year that are now going up against each other. Obviously, with the co-op last year with FCHP, there's some guys that maybe were rivals a little bit as well that are with Enderlin. So there's a lot of stuff, so to speak, off the field that kind of goes into this game a little bit here this week, Larry.
Yeah, I think the kids are looking forward to playing against their old teammates. You know how young men are. They want to play against each other. They want to see, how much, they can get, how they can play against their friends. Everybody likes to play against their friends. They want to see if they can match up with them, and they'll be friends after the game. But during the game, they're going to be combatants, and they're going to go after each other, and it'll be a lot of fun. I know the kids have been looking forward to it since I first met them in June, so that'll be fun. As far as the distractions, I dressed up as a kid today in my flannels, and there's a lot of kids running around school, with bald caps on and wearing sandals and twin shirts, so they're dressing like me, and it's okay. It's all good. Tomorrow is throwback day. Friday is rock t-shirt. I got my TLC shirt going on for Thursday. That's Thursday. Kids are going to love that. I like TLC. And then Friday, we're going to just do Raider gear and have a pep rally here and get ready to play, Enderlin team that's looking for their first win of the year. They haven't scored in, I think, the last 4 games. So, I mean, they're getting hungry and everything. And our kids know them really well. They're going to have to play pretty well to beat them.
The one thing for you here, Larry, when we talk about certain players, and I know each week we could bring up Clay Holvelson because he's having that kind of a year for you guys. Just quite frankly, where do you put him? How do you use him defensively and offensively? But there's obviously 8 other guys on the field as well that put up numbers or a vital cog to your team. Liam Satcham, Dylan Reamer, I guess just 2 seniors. What have they provided so far for this team through 5 games, and what do they mean to this version of the Raider football team in 2022?
Well, both are starters on both sides of the ball. They don't really come out of the game at all. Very seldom are they out of the game. I think both are on kickoff, kick return, punts. They're quiet kids, leaders. I coached them forever. I had them in junior high football, had them in baseball the last couple of years. They started last year a lot and played a lot last year. And this year, they're coming around. I know both of them are a little disappointed in their efforts last week and are looking to have a rebound game, I guess, against Enderlin this week. They played a pretty good football team last week, and they got to keep their heads up. And they did their best and worked hard at it, and they just want to work at getting better every week. We're going to put Liam back as a D tackle. I think he's a little more comfortable there. I just like him there, and so we're going to put him there at D tackle. Dylan, we're going to leave. I like Dylan as a cover guy, but we're going to try to put him in as a linebacker a little bit and try to find a place for him. Maybe put him at a D end. And on offense, Dylan's going to get more of the carries this week. We're going to. I think we really need to get him the ball a little more, like catching wise, because the kid can catch and he's got some good speed. So we're going to try to get him the ball a little more receiving wise, and he's a good complement to Clay in the backfield. He runs really, really hard, and he gets about 30, 40 yards a game, and he's got a couple touchdowns. They can't just focus on Clay because then we'll hit Dylan with the 23 or 24 counter or something. And we moved Liam from quarterback last year to offensive guard. I don't know how many teams can do that. And he took it with, he just wants to help the team win. Great kid. I really love both of them. I've known them since they were like 12 years old, and great kids and leaders and work hard in practice. And I know they're looking forward to this game on Friday. It's their last homecoming game, and it's going to be fun to watch them play.
I don't think for you, Larry, before we let you go here, 3 wins, 2 losses on the year. Arguably the 2 losses against 2 teams that are going to make the playoffs in Wyoming, Lidgerwood, and Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion. But what's the difference? What have you seen from your team in the 3 wins in terms of a coach's point of view compared to the 2 losses that you like to say, hey, let's get back in the win column here tonight. Let's get that homecoming win. More importantly, let's get that region win and one step closer to making the playoffs. So from your point of view, Larry, what's been a little difference between the wins and the losses for your team this year?
It's defense. We've played pretty good defense in the 3 wins. I think 12 points against Hatton, 6 points against Richland, I believe, something like that, and maybe 14 against Tri-State. And I mean, it's just defense, but who's stopping Lemoore? I mean, that's a tough team to stop. And Wyoming, I talked to the boys before the game. We gave up 80 pounds on the line. They got some big kids, and our kids are about 170 on the line, and they're about 280, if not more, 260. So, defense, they just took it to us offensively, and our defense is going to have to get a little better. I thought our offense did okay last week. We scored a couple touchdowns. Clay had 80 yards. Dylan had a couple nice runs. A quarterback threw 115 yards. Offense, I thought we did okay. We got to get better defensively. We got to fill some holes. Our linebackers have to play a little better, and we'll see how that goes. We're looking forward to this weekend.
Hey, Larry, as always, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck here on homecoming night against the Enderlin Eagles, and we'll talk to you a little bit before and after the game as well. Thanks, Larry.
Roger, I'm looking forward to it.
New boat? Are you building onto your home? Maybe you want the new camper or ATV. Dakota Heritage Bank can help you. This is Dustin Nagel, president at Dakota Heritage Bank Hillsborough location. You can visit with me or our other loan officers to help with loans and lines of credit from Dakota Heritage Bank. We are serving you with locations in North Dakota and Northwest Minnesota. Dakota Heritage Bank offers financial services you expect with a local perspective. dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Here it's way more hands-on. The college has better equipment than the shop I'm at now. Like, you name it, they got it. You get to use your tools and your hands a lot more. My name is Sean, and I'm here for my future.
First week of college, I can't tell you how many friends I've made. It's a family, you know what I mean? Like, every time I go to a meeting, like, everyone knows my name. They're always kind to me. I love it. I can't explain how much I love it here. My name is Junior, and I'm here for my future.
Hey, what you doing?
Crawling around under my planter trying to figure out if I need any maintenance parts replaced.
It's harvest time, buddy.
Yeah, I know, but the guys at RDK Enterprises keep reminding me to check now, just in case I need something ordered.
What do I look for?
Just give RDK a call and ask some questions. They are the guys I go to for answers.
This is Chris from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. We will answer all of your planter questions or come out to your farm and take a look at your planter. Give us a call, 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
As we continue here on our Irie Insurance pregame show, visit Irie Insurance online at irieins.com for all of your insurance requests. It's the homecoming night here in Hope, North Dakota between Maple River and the Enderlin Eagles. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and Reggie Funk with you here for our three-man crew this evening. Some other games across the regions here in Region 2 at Northwood at Griggs Makota in Cooperstown. That game going on tonight. A dandy, a non-region game, but a top 5 matchup. Lamore Litchfield Marion at Mayport CG could have impact or will have impact on seeding in the postseason. Hankinson at Wymer Lidgerwood in Lidgerwood tonight. The winner has an inside track at the 2 seed in Region 1 bare minimum. And Tri-State at Richland. Richland needs a win to try to get into the postseason and then see what happens with Hankinson in a couple of weeks. Nathan Hoots will send it down to you. Again, that is the region here of Region 1, Region 2 tonight. A lot of matchups that will determine postseason outcomes as well over the next couple weeks. Anyone in particular stand out, or is it, hey, gorilla on the block with the Lobos and the Patriots and a battle of a top 5 ranked opponents going on in Mayville here tonight?
That's a layup, but I'm going to pass on it. I'll take Wyndmere, Lidgerwood, and Hankinson all day long. One of the best rivalries in the state. If you don't know about it, it's they can't stand each other. Add that to homecoming week for Wyndmere Lidgerwood, plus the winner, like you said, has inside track at a home game, if not giving Lamore everything they want, hopefully later on.
How about Region 2, Hatton Northwood at Griggs Makota? Hatton Northwood at 0-2. Griggs Makota went to Enderlin and picked off the Eagles. Hatton Northwood playing for their lives tonight, just like the Enderlin Eagles are. How big is that game for those scoreboard watching between the Eagles and Raider fans here this evening?
1 week ago today, I would have said that's a game that determines who's the 4 seed and the 5 seed in the region and doesn't make the playoffs. So it's just a bragging rights game. But now with Griggs Midcoda defeating Enderlin last week, throws a monkey wrench into everything. And now we're bringing in tiebreakers into play. And you know, that 17-point max, are we going to be playing around with that here coming later on? But yeah, as soon as this game's over with, that Maple River coaches are going to be looking to see what the score of that one is, determining the fate of home field come October.
So the opening coin toss has been won by the Enderlin Eagles here, and we'll see what Enderlin does if they will elect to receive or kick off. So the opening coin toss again is won by Enderlin, and it looks like from our point of view, they are going to receive. So Enderlin wants the football first things first. Strategy-wise, Nathan, as a coach, I know some coaches, anytime they win the coin toss, always want defense, right? Because, hey, you might get that 4 minutes late in the second quarter to maybe make a stop, get a score, and then start the third quarter off with the football. Sometimes you look at the personnel and possessions and say, if we're going to be chasing the ball and the Enderlin Eagles haven't scored a touchdown in 4 straight games, maybe you can get something going offensively early that gives you some momentum. Even if you don't get in the end zone, at least flip the field, do what you need to do, have a 4 or 5 minute drive. What do you make of Enderlin winning the coin toss and electing to receive?
It makes me first think, what's Coach Bergstead got up his sleeve here to begin? You know, like you said, hasn't scored since the first week of the year. What has he been working on this week? Maybe that Maple River hasn't seen on film. Something a little tricky, maybe on the return, maybe on the first play of the game. A lot of things that we like to do when we co-opt with them was, kind of have an opener special first play. If as long as the wind isn't a factor and the rain isn't a factor, something that we can go for that the opponent hadn't seen yet. But my philosophy when it came to the opening coin toss was put the best squad on the field to start the game. If your defense is the better team, make sure you're deferring. If your offense is your best team, then you try to get the ball to start the game.
That's going to be fun to watch as this one continues. Again, Maple River 1-0 in Region 2 play. Enderlin at 0-1. Final thing here, Nathan, you were the Enderlin Maple Valley head football coach last year. You saw some of the guys talking to each other back and forth, some of the coaching staff talking to each other back and forth. When you know the opposition, and as Larry Fontaine said, your friends, Eric talking with him earlier in the week said your friends are on the opposite side, right? Like Trey Wall and Hovelson are best of buds, but here on the gridiron for 4 quarters tonight, they are opposition and rivals a little bit. What does this game mean for emotions on top of homecoming night as well here for Maple River, but also the emotions for Enderlin, where some of these guys were your teammates a year ago making a run to the 9-man playoffs?
Yeah, it certainly is emotional. This team went through so much together for the last 3 years as a co-op, going through the year of 2020 with all the stuff that was going on then, and then last year making the playoffs for the first time in over a decade. It was an emotional finish to the co-op, something that both teams knew was coming. This was a game that we dreaded a year ago, but now once the official co-op was split, it was definitely a date that I guarantee at least all the kids from Maple Valley and all the kids from Enderlin had circled on their calendar immediately. Hey, when do we play this game? Where is it at? Homecoming is something that gets blown completely out of proportion. It's something that, as a coach, you just dread because you don't want the focus to be taken away from practice. But, tell the guys, hey, focus from 4 to 6 every single day after school. And I guarantee you walk out right now, half of them don't even realize it is the homecoming game. It's blown out of proportion. So, but yeah, back to the emotions of it. It's going to be really important here at the beginning of the game. Who's going to keep their emotions in check and just remember that it's just another game and that eventually this does not matter.
We'll take one final break here on our Irie Insurance pregame show. We come back after this. We'll take a look at players to watch out for ahead of the opening ahead of the opening kickoff and the starting lineups as well. It's the Enderlin Eagles and the Maple River Raiders. This is our Irie Insurance pregame show on your live event.
Serving Mahnomen and the surrounding communities for 34 years, it's Brigham and Super Value, your hometown grocery store in Mahnomen. Stop by today. Great weekly specials, delicious fresh produce, along with baked goods that are baked fresh daily, and a fully stocked meat department. Great deals. You'll find them at your hometown grocery store, Brigham and Super Value. Celebrating 34 years, it's your hometown grocery store, Brigham and Super Value in Mahnomen.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, and great educational opportunities, there hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. With the Hope Golf Course, you can enjoy your personal time in town. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders. As they compete both on and off the field and on the court, you put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish your goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience that you can trust to get the job done with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, contact Triple E Incorporated, 701-668-2258, or stop by the office in Page. Make your next project a winner with a team from Triple E Incorporated in Page.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hope-page.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
Final segment on our Irie Insurance pregame show here between Maple River and the Enderlin Eagles in high school football here this evening. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots with you. Nathan Roman, the sidelines, or color commentary. And also Reggie doing some of the behind-the-scenes work here, on-site producer and cameraman as well. Nathan, and our final couple of minutes here on our pregame show. Give me some players to watch out for. We'll start with the visitors on the scoreboard in the Enderlin Eagles, asking Eric Bergstead earlier this week, saying that Trey Wall was the heart and soul of that football team from start to finish. Cass Wadeson is not going to be playing. That's an all-state wrestler, a guy that obviously knows how to wrap up and tackle. He is out due to concussion protocols. But does it start and end, so to speak, with Enderlin, with Trey Wall, in terms of him being a senior, a guy that's going to be getting his hands on the football every time, and then also a leading tackler on defense as well here for Enderlin here this season?
Yeah, he is kind of the do-it-all type of guy. As he goes, they go. He's a guy that started halfway through his sophomore year and then took every single rep starting-wise last year as a junior and doing a nice job. Taking care of the football is his biggest thing. As long as he can hold on to the football and not commit any turnovers, he's a great athlete in the open field. Keeping him inside the pocket is going to be extremely important for the Raiders tonight.
If you're Maple River, looking at the size of some wide receivers and tight ends, Ammerman at 6'3", Glarum at 6'2", Carson Bartholomew at 6'6", what does that do as an opposing coach when maybe your secondary is 5'6", 5'8", 5'9", respectively?
You're going to have to you almost have to keep a safety over the top at all times and have them roam. Maple River doesn't like doing a whole lot of that. They're really stuck in the man-to-man. That's the way Coach Fontaine coaches, and it's worked for him. But you got to be able to help out. Probably going to have a safety over the top, because if you get 5 or 6'6" matched up against someone under 6 foot, that is such an advantage. Especially those guys aren't just tall; they're good athletes. Good basketball players. They know how to box out and go get a ball up in the air. So jump balls are going to be something that Maple River is going to have to take away from them.
If you're Maple River, Coach Larry Fontaine said earlier this week, yes, we know about Clay Hovelson, but we want to get Dylan Reamer the ball a little bit more. What would it mean to get Dylan maybe an extra 5 to 8 carries in a contest, particularly here tonight against Enderlin?
It gives Enderlin a different look defensively. It also gives those 5 to 8 reps off for Clay, because this is a game that I anticipate going 4 quarters. Getting those meaningful reps in the fourth quarter is something that Clay Hovelson hasn't had to do as of yet. So, getting those reps every once in a while where he's not taking the beating and going down to the ground is going to be really important.
Final thing for you, as we have some of the girls running up here to try to sing the national anthem in a moment. Preston Dowes is his first varsity start as a freshman. They're putting him at linebacker. They're moving Liam Satchram from linebacker to defensive tackle. How is that going to impact a Friday night football game here tonight?
I'm really excited to see how he reacts on that very first play. There's going to be several times where he's going to have to make one-on-one tackles in the open field. That happens all the time in 9-man football. How is he going to respond the first time that he has to make a play on Trey Wall one-on-one in the B gap? What's going to happen?
That does it for IRE Insurance pregame show. For more information, go online to IREINS.com. We come back after this. It's the starting lineups and the opening kickoff. It's homecoming night for the Raiders and the Eagles on your live event.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Larson Parts and Repair Inc., Highway 59 in Bijou does it all. They provide full shop services for your tractors, combines, trucks, pickups, and cars. Their tire department carries a full line of name brand tires, and they've got state-of-the-art alignment equipment. And don't forget about the parts department. They have parts for just about anything, right down to your lawnmower. Call today, 218-935-2774. Larson Parts and Repair Inc., Highway 59 in Bijou.
The Maple Valley School District is moving forward with the plan to build a new pre-K classroom, community fitness center, and gymnasium with locker rooms. The classroom will provide more space for a growing pre-K program. The fitness center will provide opportunities to benefit all Maple Valley communities, and the gym will allow more opportunities for all activities of the Maple River Co-op. Plus, the plan is to build with no new taxes. Contact the business manager to see how you can help make this a reality today at 701-749-2570.
The Maple Valley Parents Organization is an organization whose main purpose is to support all Maple Valley student activities and to promote a healthy environment and attitudes for the youth. Their aim is to encourage growth and interest in these areas by supporting them in a sportsmanlike manner. The Maple Valley Parents Organization is open to anyone. If you'd like to become a member or see upcoming events, like their Facebook page by searching Maple Valley Parents Organization on Facebook.
As we get ready for the starters here, as the Enderlin Eagles won the opening coin toss and elected to receive here. So we'll take a look at Enderlin here in terms of what they're going to be up front. They'll go with the guard, Brennan Bartholomew, a 6-foot junior at 260 pounds. Also the other guard, Sam Lalay, the sophomore, 5'11 at 220. Oren Ardargo, the freshman at 6 foot, 200 pounds even. Tight ends of Caden Ammerman with 131 yards receiving this season for the 6'3 senior, and Aiden Glarum, the 6'2 junior, at 240 pounds for Enderlin. Wide receiver Carson Bartholomew, awfully good on the basketball court as well for the Eagles, the 6'6", 190-pound senior. Fullback of Colton Iwin, the 5'11 senior. Anthony Wendell, the junior running back with 299 rushing yards so far this season. And the quarterback, Trey Wall, 319 yards rushing, 309 yards passing for the 5'10 senior at 165 pounds. Enderlin out in their white uniforms with the Enderlin Eagle on either side with the orange numerals and lettering outlined in black here. Head coach by Eric Bergstead here for Enderlin. 1 win, 4 losses on this season. As we go from them to now homecoming night, 2 homecoming kings. That's what you get when you have co-op football here this season. We'll get to them in a moment. The center is Calvin Satchram, the junior at 5'11", 175 pounds. One of the homecoming kings, that is wearing number 7, Liam Satchram, the 6-foot senior at 180 pounds. Also at a guard is Levi Trader, a 6'2", 215-pound guard. The wide receiver of Wyatt Silling, or tight end, a 5'10 senior. The winger in Dylan Reamer, a 5'10 senior as well. Wideout of Stephen Drogan, fullback of Connor Dahl. Clay Homelson, Mr. Do Everything here this season, and homecoming king for the Maple Valley School District, the 5'11 senior, and T. Silling, the 6'2 sophomore here this evening for Maple River. Head coach by Larry Fontaine. 3 wins, 2 losses on the season. The Maple River Raiders, in 3 wins this year, have outscored their opposition 42-12. In 2 losses this year, they've been outscored 99-16. In comparison, Enderlin won their first game of the year over Tri-State by 24 in Enderlin. Since then, they haven't scored a touchdown. So when you hear those numbers, Nathan, if you're Larry Fontaine asking him earlier in the week, what's different with a win or a loss? He said it starts on defense. The way we wrap up, the way we fly to the football, that's where it starts. If you're Eric, though, on the other side, and you haven't scored in 4 games, how do you want to get a good start to a contest here this evening in a game that definitely has a lot of emotions?
Any way you can get the ball in the end zone. Offense, defense, special teams, doesn't matter how it happens. It's just got to happen early. They got to get that momentum back rolling here. Unfortunately for them, they've turned the ball over a ton here in the last 4 games. They need to hold on to the football and get in the end zone early to build some confidence.
Hey, I love when the sun comes out right at kickoff into our face, into your living room across the way. It's perfect timing. It hasn't been out all day, but right when we get to kickoff at 7 o'clock here this evening. I think about a month ago when Lamore came in here, we were kind of talking about who takes what sideline, and early on the season, I think we found out why the Maple River side is on the north side with the sun starting to kind of set in the northwest portion of our viewing audience here, Nathan.
Yeah, it's a distinct advantage, especially for a coach when not having to stare into the sun right off the bat.
Chase Miller with you here with the play-by-play. Nathan Hoots is going to be our sideline color commentator. Reggie Funk doing a little bit of everything behind the scenes here as they get this one on the tee for Calvin Santrum. You're going to have back in Carson Bartholomew, and with him as well in Caden Ammerman here as Santrum is ready to put this one on the tee. Opening kickoff at 7:03 on a Friday night. Welcome to fall in North Dakota. This one end over end kick, going to be a short kick retrieved at the 25-yard line for the Eagles as Enderlin gets to about the 35-yard line after the return by Carson Gruba. Good starting field position here for Enderlin.
Carson Gruber runs just like his older brother. He played quarterback for me for about 3 years and very elusive, just a freshman. He's got a lot of potential.
So this will start at the 35-yard line here for the Eagles. And right now, if you're the Enderlin Eagles, where do you go offensively? As a lot of attention is going to be rightfully so put on Trey Watt, the quarterback, and they will come out here in a I formation. Not in the I is Anthony Wendell with the fullback of Colton Iwin. Right now, under center again is Wall. Wall, handoff. That goes to Wendell. Wendell's going to get wrapped up by a host of Raiders and just gets back to line, and that is it.
I'm going to have to take back what I said earlier about footing not being a problem. We've already got some significant divots out here on the opening kickoff, along with right on the line of scrimmage. We got some divots that need to be replaced.
So you're telling me if you make a cut, it might be like my pitching wedge on the golf course?
Yeah, you're going to have to walk about 5 feet and pick up your turf.
If that continues here, how does that make a difference from a running scheme to a passing scheme? We'll get to that after this play. Under center again goes Wall. 4-man front here for Maple River right now, and they bring 5 now right at the line with Hovelson filling a gap. This will be a QB keeper here with Wall. Tries to cut back in, and he's going to get hog-tied down for a tackle for a loss, and that is by Clay Hovelson for a loss of -1.
Combination of a slow developing sweep play with the line not able to get up and moving, and great fill by the Raider linebackers caused that to be a tackle for loss.
So if you have these footing conditions, Hoots, as a coach, how much does that change your game plan in terms of maybe what you had coming in, whether you're a running or a passing
Those
team?
timing throws are going to become extremely difficult. Those quick 5-yard outs or quick slants are going to be really difficult because you can't rely on great footing the whole time.
As the Enderlin Eagles will come out here, and again, on the outside is Bartholomew at 6'6". We'll see if they try to go to him here. Wall is going to roll out right-hand side, looking to slit up the slip screen. Now it's going to be a broken play here as Wall goes to the outside. Breaks not 1, but 2 tackles. Hovelson tries to bring him down, does, and Wall able to get about 5 yards on the rush, and Hovelson was grabbing that jersey for dear life and trying to stretch and claw his way, and he brings him down short of the first down.
Great job gang tackling by the Raiders. There were 6 guys around the football when the guy went down to the ground, but great edge blocking by Enderlin there. They had the edge set. It was just a matter of whether or not they could get somebody open. It was definitely a design sweep pass, but couldn't find anybody open.
In the low 50s, 52 degrees right now as the punter. Instead, it's going to be, it looks like Enderlin's looking to go for it here. Might get a hard count. If they do, they would still need an extra yard for the first. Wall under center. Motion man going right-hand side. Wall 3-step drop. Pocket collapses. Wall cuts it in the inside. He's sacked. And it's going to be a turnover on downs. The defense holds here for Maple River, and coming in to wrap them up at the very end looks like to be Marty Rohrbeck there for the Raiders.
Big time coverage there by the Raider defense. They all of a sudden came out and they had 4 eligible receivers on the right-hand side. Raiders didn't panic and manned everybody up and ran with the crossers. It was well done.
So Maple River will take advantage, and Hoots, they will start at the Enderlin Eagle 35-yard line here with 9:36 left to play in the first quarter. What'd you like about the Raiders defense there?
Just stout. Every single time they needed to fill a gap, they did their job. See if they take a shot here on first down now.
Spread formation with T. Still in the sophomore quarterback. Glarum putting some pressure up. This one goes down the a Superman kind of catch here for the Raiders.
That was a great play. I think Coach Fontaine just stole what beat them last week and immediately ran it on the first play. Tight end seam right down the middle. Great play.
To Liam Satchram here, able to switch things up a little bit. He goes to 35 to now 1st and goal at the 9. So a nice 26-yard pitch and catch to get things going here. And Larry did tell us he might move some guys around, and he did right off the bat there with Satchram.
Liam's a playmaker. He played quarterback for a couple of years.
Full house backfield here. This one going to be a pitch to Hovelson, and Hovelson is going to get a handful of yards to about the 5-yard line for a gain of 4.
Raider exterior blocking was excellent. They got a double team on the corner out here and put him on the ground in a hurry. But great fill by the linebackers of the Eagles.
Right now for the guys up front, Levi Trader at one guard, Liam Satcham at the other with Calvin Santrum at center here for Maple River. Wyatt Silling here for the Raiders again, as we mentioned. This one goes under center to T. Silling. Play action for T, looking for Wyatt. He gets hit in the backfield. Is that a fumble or is it incomplete? They're going to say it's incomplete. Unfortunate there for Maple River as you had Glarum providing the pressure. Aiden, the junior defensive end, getting in the backfield quickly.
The ball was leaving his hand right when it was batted down, so I'm glad that was a good call right there.
If you're a New England Patriot fan, you're talking about the Tuck rule with Mr. Woodson and the Oakland, not Vegas, the Oakland Raiders at the time. Right now, it's one Raiders, ironically, in Patriot colors here for Maple River. 3rd and goal, ball at the 5 of the far hash. Full house backfield again. This one going to be a little counter dive option to Hovelson. Nice tackle in open space by Anthony Wendell for the Enderlin Eagles.
Anthony Wendell, first-year football player, coming out, does a great job for them filling. He was absent last week with an injury. Came back and made a great play right there.
So 4th and goal here on our City of Hope scoreboard, 4 minutes in, and it is a bend but don't break potential offense here for Enderlin on the opposite side. If you're Maple River, trying to get past the pylon here and get into the end zone. Full house backfield again. Pitch play goes to Hovelson, looking for the edge, gets a block. Hovelson walks in the end zone. Touchdown for the homecoming king, and Maple River leads it 6-0, and boom goes the cannon.
Clay Hovelson's going to get credit for that touchdown, but let's give an assist to Stephen Drogan and Dylan Reamer here on the outside. Great blocking there. Their guys shoved several yards into the end zone untouched.
2-point conversion upcoming here. Maple River came in averaging 28 points per contest, and first drive goes 35 yards. The turnover on downs provides 6 points here for the Raiders, and now the 2-point conversion as well. Another full house backfield look here for Maple River. Little fullback dive by Rohrbeck, and Rohrbeck is in for the 2-point conversion. New score, 7:49 left to play on our City of Hope scoreboard. It's the Raiders up by 8.
MLGC offers ultra high-speed broadband, streaming TV, telephone, advanced business services, and commercial-grade video surveillance services. MLGC has a goal to continue to deliver future technologies that make rural communities in North Dakota vibrant places in which to live and do business in. They're your local provider who prides itself on its unmatched customer service with a small-town touch. MLGC has offices in Enderlin, Cooperstown, and Kindred. For more info, go to mlgc.com.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, and great educational opportunities, there hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. With the Hope Golf Course, you can enjoy your personal time in town. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
A scoring drive for the Maple River Raiders goes 35 yards, 1 minute, 47 seconds for the touchdown, capped off by Hovelson on a 4th and goal for the 4-yard rushing score. Satcham puts this one on the tee, the left-footed kick, and that is a live football at the 32. It's still loose, and it looks like Maple River covers it at the 31-yard line, and they do.
That was one of the craziest spins I've ever seen. All the spin was taking it toward the sideline, and it just stopped dead, and Marty Rohrbeck was on top of it in a hurry. What a turn.
Onside kick that wasn't really intended to be an onside kick, but those are ones where, again, play till you hear the whistle, and that's exactly what Enderlin was able to do.
Tell you what, it might not have been intentional, but the way that Satcham lined up behind that ball, he went backwards. He didn't go typical, a couple steps to his left. He went to his right.
As now Maple River has a chance to really open up this game early on our City of Hope scoreboard, and we have a timeout here by Coach Fontaine. We'll keep it here, Nathan. Let's recap that last play for Maple River with that sidewinder kick. It hit that to 40, and maybe if there's not as much rain from earlier in the day, maybe that continues to go towards the Maple River side and possibly go out of bounds. But with the rain a little bit and the spin, slowed it down, and almost trying to find like the Augusta Greens sometimes and find that backspin is exactly what happened there. You had a collision, and then all of a sudden there comes a flashing through there, Marty, to get that onside kick.
Well-coached individuals right there, understanding that it is a live ball and that, they're not just downing the ball there. So first guy was there, made the collision, kind of like what you want on an onside kick where you try to, take out the first guy. And then Marty was all over it. Well done.
I like in the background that we see here on our screen, too, the cars roped around here at Hope, North Dakota tonight. Now after the timeout, the first one there by Maple River. We'll see what they come up with. Pitch play to Hovelson to the outside. He's at the numbers, breaks one tackle, then he goes down at about the 28 as his knee hits the ground there for a 4-yard rush.
Moving forward every single possession, he is, or every single time he touches the ball, every time he gets it, he's just running guys over. One guy hits the ground, he's getting up, and he's already starting to walk a little slow. that's got to be concerning for the Eagles.
Eagles defense, Hayden Glarum up front with the defensive end with Caden Aberman. Brennan Bartholomew, the defensive tackle, with linebackers of Anthony Wendell and Colton Iwin. Safeties of Carson Gruba and Trey Wall, and Carson Bartholomew and Eli Christensen on the outside at the cornerback spot. Here is Maple River, 2nd and 6, upcoming now in a I formation for the Raiders. Handoff, this one goes to Reamer. Reamer bounces out to the outside. Look out, Reamer to the 10, 5, end zone, dives in. Touchdown, Raiders. It is a 28-yard rush for Dylan Reamer. Now the Raiders lead 14-0.
And about 3 guys that wrapped up number 22 there, and unfortunately for the Eagles, he was not the one with the ball. 12 took it to the house.
2 plays, 32 yards, as Reamer was able to go 28 yards for the score, and Maple River able to pounce on the Enderlin Eagles here very early in the opening 5 minutes on our City Hope scoreboard. If you're Coach Fontaine, you got to love this start so far for Maple River. If you're Coach Eric Bergstad right now for Enderlin, you're going to be looking to get an offensive drive going on your next possession. Rolling to the right-hand side is Silling, back right corner to older brother Wyatt for the 2-point conversion. 6:54 left to play here in the first quarter on our City of Hope scoreboard. It's the Maple River Raiders 16, the Enderlin Eagles scoreless on your live event.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in North Dakota, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
As we come back here, 6:54 left to play after what works as an onside kick for the Raiders. Two plays, one to Hovelson and one to Reamer. And just like Coach Larry Fontaine said in our pregame show, Nathan, we got to find ways to get the senior Dylan Reamer the ball a little bit more often early in the game. They do there, and he shows you the reason why.
I think he rewarded him as well. He must have seen the block he made on that touchdown and that 2-point conversion. Give the guy the ball that after he makes that great block.
So a win here for Maple River would get them to 4-2 on the season and 2-0 in Region 1 play. On the opposite side for the Enderlin Eagles, 1-4 on the year. 0-1 in Region 1 play. This is a team that, well, they made the playoffs last year as the Falcons with Enderlin Maple Valley, but you got to go back to the 2011, a chance where they made the semifinals as Enderlin Maple Valley, but as Enderlin Sheldon made it in 1994 to the state semis, as that one is taken to about the 33-yard line here for the Enderlin Eagles after the return one more time by Carson Gruba.
Once again, Reamer in on the tackle. He's had a heck of a start here to this first half.
If you're Enderlin right now, what do you need after you've seen one offensive drive? What would be some adjustments moving forward here, Nathan?
I think you got to try to look to open it up. Maybe go, split out both of your big, tall receivers and see what kind of look you get defensively from the Raiders. Be ready for something odd, funky, something like that right here.
No safety over the top, so if you're able to beat your man one-on-one, there's going to be room to run here on this football field. Shotgun formation now for Trey Wall. To the right of him is Wendell. 5 men at the line here for Enderlin. QB keeper for Wall. Brunts it out to the right-hand side and taken it down low by Liam Santrum and up high by T. Silling for the 1-2 combination of a couple of yards rushing for Wall.
It's going to be interesting to see if Enderlin decides to pick on the new freshman out here on this side, number 32. First start, moved him from backer outside to corner when they went 2 receivers. So we'll see what happens there.
And Preston Dow's at 5'9" here. Going to give up some size if he does have to go up against Carson Bartholomew. Bartholomew right now, the 6'1" safety of Steven Drugan right now trying to guard him in the open space one-on-one on the opposite. 2nd down and 7 they'll mark it. They'll need the 43-yard line for the first. Replay this one right up Broadway to the 45-50. Breaking tackles is Wendell, and you have Dow's with a tackle at the 45-yard line.
Great blocks up front by the Eagles there. Made a giant crease. Wendell took advantage.
Best play from scrimmage so far here for Enderlin. That goes for a rush of 20 yards. And something similar last week that probably Maple River fans had nightmares of with Andrew Orth and Tyler Brandt last week for Wymer Lidgerwood, Nathan.
Pulling guard right behind right in front of the running back led the way. So just like last week.
Lale, the guard on one side, Brennan Bartholomew, the guard on the other, and Adargo here, the center, with double tight ends on either side. QB keeper here by Wall. Wall gets past the 40, and we do have a play coming out. T. Silling makes a tackle, but not before it's a gain of 8 yards right now for Trey Wall, barring what the penalty is on.
I'm assuming holding on the Eagles here the way it came in, and we had multiple Raider guys down on the ground.
That will be what it is. First penalty of the night. This will be from the spot of the foul as well. So you can either take it for 2nd and 2 or move them back from the spot and have about a 1st and 16 upcoming. But the last 2 plays, though, Nathan, we have seen some good things by Enderlin with the guys up front opening up some holes, back-to-back plays for Wendell and Trey Wall, something that if you're Coach Fontaine, you probably are giving up some poundage again like you were to Weimar Lidgewell with the guys up front. You're doing it here again against the Enderlin Eagles.
Yeah, when you have a a D tackle built like Marty Rohrbeck, you're probably, if he guesses the wrong gap, then there's going to be a crease. But if he guesses the right gap, it's probably a 2-yard loss. It's just what you give and take when you have a guy that size.
One wide receiver split out either side again. So if the guys up front can get a hat on a hat, there might be a running lane one more time for Wall and Wendell. Read option, Wendell right up the middle. Well, that time unable to get a hat on a hat. Good wrap up and good tackling, swarming tackling here. Hovelson up top, and Liam Satcham comes up with a tackle. That's Homecoming King and Homecoming King with a 1-2 punch.
I'm glad you could see that from up top. He completely shed that left guard's block and made the play in the backfield before the running back could even get going.
3 carries now for 21 yards for Anthony Wendell, the 6-foot junior here for Enderlin, second on the team in rushing behind quarterback Trey Wall entering play here this evening on our City of Hope scoreboard. 4:50 left to play. It's been all Raiders so far, 2 possessions and 2 touchdowns. Second possession here for Enderlin. Motion man coming into the near sideline here. Wall rolling to the right-hand side. Silling providing some pressure. Wall breaks 1, not 2 tackles. Slithering his way for past the 50 to the 49. And a broken play goes for 2 yards here for Wall.
Great coverage once again. I think they were looking for Bartholomew on the outside, but Steven Drogan, I think he must be up to the challenge tonight, taking him one-on-one wherever he goes all over the field.
Looking to that quick slant potentially, and I think what you just hit the nail on the head there. Coach Fontaine is saying, hey, number 5, wherever number 81 goes in Bartholomew, if you're Drogan, you're following with him. It seems like that's been the game plan so far from a defensive point of view for Coach Fontaine.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Bartholomew lines up on the quarterback's right-hand side, if there's any confusion between the freshman and the junior playing defense here.
The Eagles will need the Raider 36 for a first down. Shotgun formation. We'll see if Maple River tries to provide some pressure. They're going to rush 5. They're going to get to Wall, and the ball comes out. It's still free right now. Coming in on it at the 34-yard line right in front of Nathan Hoots.
Both of them got it. It'll be interesting to see. They're going to give it to the Eagles here.
It's going to be 4th down and about a loss of 17 yards, but ever so close coming in on the outside. Looked to be Marty Rohrbeck. Just missed it by maybe a jar length there, Nate.
Rohrbeck looked like he got shot out of that cannon that's sitting on the sideline over here when he saw the ball on the ground. He dove about 8 yards for that ball.
That's a tough one, but again, they bring 5, and if you're able to get there quickly, that's what Maple River was able to do, and now they're going to force a punting situation here for the Eagles. Andrew Glarum, Aiden Glarum, on to punt, and end over and wobbler. Going to bounce at the 33 and pretty much roll there for a punt. We do have a flag back at the 40-yard line, however.
Not 100% sure what happened here, but he dropped it. He was running by. I must have run into a coach, I'm assuming.
You run into a coach. You get the sideline warning first.
Sideline warning, yep.
So sideline warning against Maple River. That'll be first down upcoming here for the Enderlin Eagles after the punt. And if you're Maple River, first time that you start with the ball in your own territory here today after having it at the Eagle 35 and the Eagle 32-yard line.
Quick story on Aiden Glarum. Last year we were in Cavalier. It's absolutely downpouring. They got like 3 inches of rain during the game. We are punting in our own end zone in the 4th quarter in a tie game. Our starting punter is out. Our backup punter got hurt, and he had to come out, and he had to come in and punt as a freshman and drilled one about 60 yards into the wind.
That has to feel nice, I'm sure.
It was great.
Here's the full house backfield again. The Enderlin Eagles trying to stuff Clay Hovelson, and Hovelson is going to get hit up top to about the 35 for a good gain of 1. They tried that polar, but then Enderlin was able to make the pop, and it looked like Caden Ammerman came in and delivered the lumber.
It was Trey Wall, if I can give him credit on that one. For years, they have been waiting to hit each other. I haven't allowed it in practice for years because the last thing you want is 2 of your starters banging on each other on game weeks, but I think that might have felt pretty good to Trey there.
So you would say Oklahoma drill with those two would not be in effect during practice?
We would do that in preseason stuff early on, but as soon as we got to game week, that was an absolute no-no.
2nd and 8 here for the Raiders back in that full house backfield. Play action, trying to run two guys down the field, looking for Silling again, incomplete. And while you had Silling there, you had Drogan there, and T just split both of them.
Yeah, someone must have ran the wrong route. Typically, you don't design plays to have two guys in the same area bringing that many defenders into play.
And that's one where the play action, you throw it out there enough, because if you can get just a step and T puts it on the money, that's where you get that big maybe touchdown play or maybe that 30, 40-yard play down the field.
And that's where T, the more reps he gets, and we've talked about this the last couple of games we've done together, T puts that on a little more loft into that ball, let him run underneath it. That'll come with experience, though.
As we come out full house backfield here, 3rd down upcoming now for Maple River, as this one's going to be a handoff to Hovelson. Hovelsson's going to get popped and dropped at the 36-yard line. Coming in for the tackle there is Wendell.
It's the first time we've had several uncovered linebackers coming in and making the play. He tried to put his foot in the ground, Hovelson did, but just too many Eagles around without any blockers in front.
So you're going to have 4th down upcoming now for Maple River. Under 2 minutes to play here, and with the 16-0 lead, we'll see what Coach Fontaine elects to do. Looks like he's going to come out and punt this football away. If it was maybe 4th and 1, different situation, Hoots?
Yeah, anytime you could possibly get a team to jump and get a first down, you might be going for it. But with a 16-point lead and the way your defense is played, I think this is a punt.
Carson Bartholome stands back for Enderlin. Here's the high end over end kick. Bartholome retrieves at the 33-yard line. Now to the 40. Bartholome to the outside 45. And good return there by Carson Bartholome of 12 yards. And he's able to get the best starting field position here for the Enderlin Eagles at their own 45-yard line.
That's where you start to do the math as a coach. Is it worth only a 20-yard net to not go for it there? But, 4th and 7 is a lot for a team that has, primary running based.
Right now, the Enderlin Eagles entering play here this evening through 5 games, 9 points per game scoring, but giving up 39 points per game defensively. Maple River, 28 points per game offensively, while defensively giving up 27. 2 wide receivers split on either side. Shotgun formation again for Trey Wall. Here's the handoff. That goes to Wendell right up the middle, past the 50, and he's able to get a good 7 yards on the rush.
So our question that we asked each other earlier was, when Bartholome lines up to the outside on the right, who is going to be on him? Well, yeah, Drogan's shadowing him wherever he goes.
And you're going to have another couple of runs up the middle. And if I'm any team right now scouting Maple River, Nathan, you got to think what Weimar Lidgerwood did last week. That's probably the game plan moving forward throughout the rest of the season.
That's exactly right. Yep. Whether it's read or designed runs up the middle, in between the tackles, out of the shotguns, a big play.
2nd down and 3 here for the Enderlin Eagles, trying for the hard count there as well. This one going to get bobbled and somehow ricocheted right to the running back. Fortunate there for Enderlin. It ends up in a 4-yard play. Kind of drawn it up much better as Dylan Reamer makes a tackle.
Reamer kind of took the charge there in basketball, but he gets credit for the tackle up way too high. The Raiders are, every time that since the first possession, they're making tackles way too high right now. They're getting 3-4 yards after contact.
And this is another 1st down here for the Eagles. And so far, everything has been on the ground. We have yet to see Trey Wall try to really throw one here tonight. And when he's been able to, he's been under duress and under pressure immediately. 1st down upcoming here for Wall. Has the time, best time so far here this evening. Pops it past the outside. Caught at the 40 to the 39 for the 5 yards on 1st down for Enderlin to Eli Christensen.
All around, quarterback, great throw. Receiver, great catch. Great coverage by the corner there for the Raiders. Great play all around.
That does it on our City of Hope scoreboard for the opening 12 minutes. Maple River up by 16 on your live event.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
Let's get real. You're ready for a place that's big enough to grow and small enough to care. So get ready for the University of Minnesota Crookston. With more than 30 majors, minors, and certificates, you'll earn a University of Minnesota degree in a close-knit community where faculty become friends and friends feel like family. And to get a degree that can make a difference, you don't need a big city, just big dreams. The University of Minnesota Crookston. Real, hands-on, ready.
As we continue here in the second quarter on our City of Hope scoreboard, work and play in Hope, North Dakota from job listings and housing options. Search HopeND.com. That's HopeND.com. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots with you alongside Reggie Funk handling the camera and doing a little bit of the behind-the-scenes work here this evening as well. And Hope, as the sun is starting to set, the lights are on. It's Friday Night Lights here in the latter part of September. Wendell inside, Reed breaks one tackle, but can't do it on the other as Connor Dahl wraps him up, but still a gain of 2 or 3 yards that could have quite frankly been a tackle for loss.
Great adjustment so far here by Coach Eric Bergstead calling the plays. They pretty much ran the exact same thing here the last 2 possessions. They've gotten good chunk plays, just unfortunate little fumble on the last drive that stalled them out after a penalty.
And reminder, Enderlin won the coin toss and elected to receive, so Maple River in the third quarter would start with the football. Shotgun formation again. They will need just past the 35 for the first down. Read option. Trey Wall going to get wrapped up by Trader first, and 3 other Raiders come with him. But Levi Trader was able to bear hug him right off the bat, and that is a gain of 1.5 yards.
Fourth and really short here.
And they're at the 36, and they'll need about the 34.5-yard line. So 1.5 yards here for the first. And right now we're seeing a little bit of a chess piece. We saw Liam Satcham, Rohrbeck up front now. Rohrbeck, sometimes there's getting a little bit of switching situations, and you're putting Trader now up front again here for Maple River.
First time in a 5-man front. Under center, you'd be thinking sneak with Wall here, but now probably just going quarterback power.
If this is one where you might take a step and maybe you chuck it to your 6'5" wide receiver. Nope. Quarterback power, as Hoot says, and Wall breaks one tackle but can't move the pile, and he is not going to get there. The wall was built by Maple River. Wall tried to stuck his foot in the ground and try to get north to south. Made one guy miss, but Hoot's good pursuit there by the Maple River defense.
That was fantastic pursuit. I think all 18 eyeballs were on Wall, and that play just make sure that their best player didn't make the play to get the first down.
Second turnover on downs here now for the Enderlin Eagles, as Maple River will start with the football. This will be at their own 36-yard line. What would a touchdown on this drive do here for this game in the second quarter?
It would. You don't want to say it's a nail in the coffin because it's early, but you're playing a team that hasn't scored in 4 weeks.
And we have a flag. This will be on Levi Trader trying to get set. Looks like Maple River will have their first offensive penalty of the night. And those are little things, if you're Coach Larry Fontaine, you're not going to be too excited about. Had to call a timeout earlier after an onside kick. And then now a 5-yard penalty to make it 1st and 15, getting off schedule here on this possession.
Media guys think it's little things. 1st and 15 for a run-based team is a really big thing. It throws you off schedule.
Welcome to the media, Nathan, too, by the way. Under center now as we have T. Silling, the sophomore. Enderlin buffering to bring some pressure. Pitch play that goes to the outside to Hovelson. Hovelson has a lane, gets to 35, makes a man miss. Look out. Clay Hovelson on his horse to the 50. Hovelson 45 to the 40, and he gets taken down for a really nice rush there for Clay Hovelson of 29 yards.
I guess that's how you offset that 5-yard penalty, is just give it to your best player and let him go get it all back.
7 carries now for Hovelson. As take a look at the math here. Able just to continue to work and have a very workmanlike game here for Maple River, but that's what you expect here. 7 carries for 45 yards.
A big chunk play, first one since that the big throw down the middle to start the game. That's exactly what the Raider offense needed to get a little momentum here.
First down and 10 here for Maple River, as it's going to be full house backfield again with T. Silling, as Enderlin will come out with 4 men at the line. Little counter coming here to Reamer. Reamer to the 35, and Reamer's going to get taken down by Bartholomew, but Reamer with a first down run of 12 yards.
So you put the corner at end there. He's got outside contain. He ended up about 8 yards up the field. They simply just kicked him out easily with one hand, ran that reverse or that counter, and ran through that outside gap. Very well done.
And you get to, again, we mentioned it all the time, in Minnesota football, it's a lot more condensed in North Dakota in 9-man football, but you get to the outside here, and if Bartholomew is unable to make that tackle, Reamer is in for a second rushing touchdown.
It's the same type of thing they got here. If they can get 12 kicked out, it's a big play for them.
Fullback dive right up the middle to Connor Dahl, past the 25 to about the 23 for a gain of 5 yards.
Both teams running the ball, but completely different philosophies. Raiders under center, handed it off quick, real fast stuff, whereas, the Eagles is more slower developing, read stuff. So still running the ball in between the tackles for both teams, but different philosophies.
Fourth possession here for Maple River, a 35-yard touchdown drive, a 32-yard touchdown drive after an onside kick, and a punt. This one started back at their own about 36-yard line here for Maple River as they'll come out in the I formation with Hovelson dot in the I. Pitch play goes to the aforementioned Hovelson. Hovelson looking to bounce to the outside wall, is trying to chase him down, and Hovelson going to depend on the spot, gets close to the 20, and might have enough for the first down. It looks to be a yard shy as we see it here.
Excellent team speed, especially from Hovelson right there. There wasn't great edge blocking. Not a guy on the outside other than Reamer, who was lined up in that wing position. So it's tough to get the outside seal when you don't have a guy on the edge like the receiver. Great run by Hovelson, though.
Third and short now as Hovelson is at the half-century mark for yards rushing as the clock continues to tick. Enderlin with 3 timeouts remaining in the half. Maple River with 2. Fullback dive right up the middle to Connor Dahl. Connor Dahl bringing Eagles with him. Close to getting in the end zone and tackled at the 3.
Great run by Dahl. They're finding out right now that all eyeballs are focused on 22. So giving those other guys those runs inside is going to be really successful.
2 carries for 22 yards now for Dahl. Ball will be spotted first and goal at the 3-yard line. When you get Reamer, when you get Dahl and Hovelson, I think Larry Fontaine hit it right on the screws in our pregame show, saying we need to get some other guys' touches just to get those eyes off of Hovelson. What does that do defensively now when you're going up against the Raiders?
All confused all week long. You guarantee they know they've been focusing on one guy. Now you got 3 or 4 guys that have touched the ball. It's tough stuff.
As T. Silling will go under center here in this full house backfield. This one going to be a little counter up the middle, and Reamer dives in for the touchdown, his second score of the night.
Great one-cut run by Reamer right there. Realized that he was not going to be able to get outside like he initially thought. Put his foot in the ground, went straight downhill.
Drive that eats up 2 minutes and nearly 40 seconds off the clock. Able to go 64 yards for the score. And in the second quarter here with 7:47 left to play, Maple River going for the 2-point conversion, up by 22. As T. Silling will come out again in that full house backfield. This one will be play action. Looks into the flat, has a man, but going to be popped and incomplete. Connor Dahl needed about another half a yard. Looks like Carson Bartholomew able to come in there and deliver the hit. And that 2-point conversion is no good. But Maple River does score. New score on their City Hope scoreboard. It's the Raiders up by 22.
Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region with the Coaches Show every Wednesday night on YourLiveEvent.com.
Goes deep down the middle, has a man, Soka Porter! Soka Porter to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, and taken down there.
We'll dive into the latest stories from North Dakota and Minnesota.
And there's the block by Reese.
That's the Coaches Show with me, Joe Lancello, on YourLiveEvent.com every Wednesday night starting at 7.
Hey fans, a reminder, as we're getting closer and closer to October, check out the Lost in the Valley Corn Maze and Pumpkin Patch at the Red River Valley Fair, going on Fridays through Sundays until October the 30th, with the Pumpkin Patch beginning in October. There's kids, straw bale, maze, pumpkin bowling, cornhole, and more. Tickets available at RedRiverValleyFair.com. That's RedRiverValleyFair.com at the Valley Corn Maze and Pumpkin Patch at the Red River Valley Fair. Pumpkin bowling, Nathan, how would you fare in that, or would you rather play cornhole?
Cornhole for sure. I'd probably throw a lot of gutter balls and pumpkin bowling.
Pumpkin bowling. I'm just wondering how do you go with the bigger pumpkin? Do you go with the smaller pumpkin? Regardless, Satcham puts this one on the tee. Bartholomew retrieves it at the 20. Bartholomew into the hash, and Hovelson comes in with the tackle after 11-yard return. Enderlin will start with the football here, and you don't want to say sometimes in games in the first half, but it feels like it's a must-have possession here for Enderlin, where they need to score with Maple River getting the ball to start the third quarter.
Unless their defense can start getting continuous stops every single possession, it's virtually must score from now on out until they get a stop.
For Enderlin, this is their fourth possession of the half. A turnover on downs, a punt, and a turnover on downs so far. Here comes the Enderlin Eagles in the I formation with Trey Wall again under center. Wall fakes the fullback dive, then gets to Wendell, and good 1-2 combination there by Maple River right up the front. Connor Dahl and Clay Hovelson.
And Rohrbeck right in there as well. A lot of hats on the ball is exactly what Fontaine is going to want the whole game.
7 carries for Wendell for 33 yards. Wall so far 8 for 9 here for the Enderlin Eagles. 16 points in the first quarter by Maple River. Enderlin scoreless in quarter number 1. Here comes the I formation again. Check that. Just a single back with Wendell. Maple River, 8 men in the box, one-on-one on the outside here to Bartholome. They're going to try to throw it to Bartholome. Instead, it goes into the flat. It's going to be incomplete. And there is a double coverage there, and just the pressure right now that Maple River is able to get, just unable for Trey Wall to really scan and look down the field.
He couldn't even get into a 3-step drop, and he had guys on top of him right away. So whether it's a blitzing linebacker or quick interior pressure from either D-tackle from the Raiders, they're right on top of Wall. He has no chance to scan the defense, like you said.
So this will bring up third down upcoming, and I know in 9-man, Nathan, do you talk screens at all in 9-man, or is that more 11-man football just with the personnel that you have out there?
I'm literally the worst screen designer of all time. We could never get it to work out, so I guarantee that Coach Brooks is probably, leery of them based on our lack of success over the years.
So third down and long. Wall, clean snap. Wall has some time now, getting flushed out by Silling. Wall throws it down the field, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver, you could say, was either Ammerman or Bartholome, but Wall did a really good job just to get that one off as he was getting hounded, and give a lot of credit right off the bat to Wyatt Silling applying the pressure.
A nice little wrinkle from the Raiders defense here. They sent Silling on a bit of a stunt. The end came through probably the B gap, it looked like, and then sent the tackle around the outside, and it had the Eagles offensive linemen staring at each other, and that put Wall in a tough spot again.
So the Eagles back onto punt here with Aiden Glarum. Hovelson is back at his own 40 to about 35-yard line to try to return this one here for the Raiders. High snap, Glarum, right-footed boot. That's going to be a spiraling kick and going to roll about the 40-yard line and take a drop there at the 39, and that's where Maple River will begin their 5th possession of the game with 6:41 left to play in the first half. So good starting field position here at their own 39-yard line. And this is a drive where if Maple River can get the score we talk about in situational football in a game in the last 6 minutes of a half, and if you have a good solid minutes there, you can go into the halftime, try to come back to start the third quarter. That's exactly what Maple River wants here on this Friday night on homecoming.
You might want to look to try to drain the clock here and see if you can score with under 2 minutes to go, and then double up coming out of halftime.
So punt goes to Enderlin. Full house backfield again as under center is going to be Silling. This one little fullback trap play is trying to move his way as Connor Dahl, the 5'8 junior, able to get 2 yards, a low center of gravity there, and then able to get the 2 yards for another gain to start things off here on a possession for the Raiders.
2 yards here, 2 yards there with that fullback dive is really going to open things up for either Hovelson or Reamer, maybe even Rohrbeck on that end around like they ran earlier to Reamer. Every time you run it up the middle and maybe fans are starting to clamor, hey, it's only 2 yards. Well, those 2 yards add up. Plus, it's going to open up something on the outside here soon.
Still to come on our halftime show. Take a look at the first half numbers, scores from across the region, and more. That's still all to come on our halftime show. And we'll find out who some more the coronation is for both the Hope Page and Maple Valley School Districts. Pitch play goes to Hovelson. Hovelson runs into his own man past the 50, still on his feet, and somehow tight ropes the actual turf here for about an extra 4 yards. That was like the good old bear crawl there to get him to the 43-yard line.
Exactly right. One arm down on the ground, and he kept propelling himself forward. Probably got himself another 3 or 4 yards.
9 carries for 66 yards here for Hovelson. And if he didn't run into his own man, we might have been talking 6. Hovelson with a really good cutback there to come back to the middle. And right now, if you're the Enderlin Eagles, again, we mentioned trying to put ways to force the ball and maybe force T. Silling to throw it. He's done it 3 times here tonight, 1 of 3. But when you get this running attack, If you're Larry Fontaine, you're going back to the well more and more, like with Reamer. Reamer 35, look out 30, Reamer 20, 15, 10, 5, and Dylan Reamer, it's your world and we're just living in it. His third rushing touchdown of the half.
Counterplay to perfection there by the Raiders. A lot of eyeballs, like we've talked about for 3 games now. A lot of eyeballs on Hovelson. That opens up Reamer one-on-one, made a guy miss, and then took it to the house.
How about these numbers for Dylan Reamer? 4 carries, 86 yards, and 3 touchdowns with rushing scores of 28, 3, and 43.
He certainly has showed up to play tonight. It's impressive to see him go in the open field.
And I think he's an early indication for our Enbridge Energy player of the game right now with what he's been able to do here from Maple River. Large 2-point conversion here, trying to get it to a 30-0 game here as Silling flips it out. Well, that goes to Rohrbeck. Rohrbeck to the goal line. Rohrbeck into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. And on our City of Hope scoreboard, we have a new score after a Reamer rushing touchdown, his third of the game. It's the Raiders up by 30 on your live event.
Take a look at the Massey Ferguson 1800M Series premium compact tractors at Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9, North Ada. The 1800M Series gives you the extra comfort use along with up to 39 horsepower and the versatility you need for long days on the toughest tasks. You also get a rear PTO with added features to make running your implement simpler. Visit with Chuck or Neil at Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9, North Ada. Call 218-784-2961 to set up a demo or learn more about the Massey Ferguson 1800M Series.
Goose River Heating and Cooling, Hillsboro, serving the Hillsboro and surrounding communities, ready to provide you with service work to existing and new customers. Whether Corey and the crew installed your heating and cooling system or not, they're ready to assist you with your service concerns. And if it's time to update your heating and cooling systems, whether it's your home, farm shop, a cabin, or office building, give Corey and the crew at Goose River Heating and Cooling a call. 701-430-1990. That's Goose River Heating and Cooling, Hillsboro, serving the Hillsboro area and surrounding communities.
As we continue here with 5:09 left to play in the first half, Dylan Reamer has been the show and some here tonight as Santrum will put this one on the tee. And the Eagles right now gave up 16 points in the first quarter, 14 so far here in the second. Nathan, what have you liked from Dylan Reamer so far here in the quarter and a half that we've seen in Hope?
Open field escapability, I think would be the right word.
Satcham puts this one on the tee again, takes a bounce to Bartholomew, one hops it at the 20 to the 25, 30, makes a man miss. Look up, Bartholomew tiptoes the near sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 50-yard line right underneath us. This press box jets out a little bit, so I'm literally looking at the sideline with Bartholomew to tiptoe it, but hey, if you're the Enderlin Eagles, you need a little shot in the arm, and that could do it right there.
Any positive momentum right now. Now see if they take a shot and try to get on the board here before the half.
So Bartholomew able to get it to the Raider 49-yard line here. So the first time tonight that Enderlin will start in positive territory past the 50. 5:02 left to play in this first half, and Enderlin right now, we'll see where they go on the offensive side as you have the shotgun with Trey Wall. One wide receiver split out either side with Bartholomew. Handoff goes to Ammerman right up front, and Marty Rohrbeck is there right off the bat and holds on, takes him down with the knee, able to get just a gain of 1.
Again, seeing all those linebackers get off the pile has got to be extremely encouraging for the Raiders. Their defensive line tonight versus last night is extremely different. They're playing in the Enderlin Eagle backfield, which is different than last week where they were getting pushed 3-4 yards downfield.
2nd down and 9, and this is one of those things where you got to make adjustments, and we'll find out some scores from across the way as well. Big one again with Griggs Makota, Hatton Northwood in Region 2 to find out what next week might hold for some playoff implications in this region. But right now, Maple River taking care of business. Enderlin looking to get some positive traction before we get to the half. Shotgun, Trey Wall past the 45, spins, still on his feet. Wall gets the first down past the 40 and down to the 39-yard line. Trey Wall with his best rush of the night. 9 carries now for 19 yards after a gain of 10.
It's impressive. He kind of outran his lead blocker there, but I think he was tired of all the pressure he's been getting in the backfield and just took it and sprinted through the hole as quickly as he could.
It looked like he was going to get stood up at about the 42-yard line and then just spun out of it to get the first down. What would have been a 3rd and short. He rides a first down and 10 here in a fresh new downage on the chain gang.
It's typical Trey, though. He can make something out of nothing more often than a lot of players in this region.
One wide receiver split out either side again here for Wall, as doing the honors at center right now is Brennan Bartholomew here for the Eagles. Little counter here for Wall, and Wall is going to get stuck right up the middle as T. Silling, the opposite quarterback. You heard the pads popping on that one.
It's the second time the Raiders defense has had success sending their DNs inside rather than keeping outside leverage like typical. They sent him inside, and then they must have had either the corner or the outside backer have contained on that play, and it's been 2 tackles for loss the times they've done that.
We'll see where we go here now as, again, moving some guys around is going to be Bartholomew again at the center spot, and our Adargo is at the left guard now, as Lole was at the right guard, and we're going to have a penalty on the play. And this will be a false start here on the Enderlin Eagles. Also, Shane Malstead, the sophomore now, is playing right guard here for Enderlin. So we're seeing Eric get some new guys here on the line and trying to shift some stuff around here for the Enderlin Eagles. 2 penalties for 15 yards now for Enderlin. Tight ends of Ammerman and Glarum on the line with one wide receiver split out on either side. Shotgun formation again for Wall. Wall rolls left-hand side, chucks it down the field for Bartholomew, and that's incomplete at a 20-yard line. Drogan there on the coverage. Wall just kind of throwing it up like your backyard football, wanting to play 500 on that one. And more times than not, it works when you got a 6'5" wide receiver, one-on-one coverage. But good job by Drogan to make it tough there for Carson to try to catch that football.
About halfway through the season last year, Steven really started stepping up for the Enderlin Maple Valley Falcons. He came in and said, "Hey, coach, put me on their best guy. I can cover him." And it's like, "Oh, you're a sophomore. Let's relax a little bit." And we started doing that, and you know what? He stepped up and started making some really big plays for us.
So 3rd and 15 here for the Enderlin Eagles. One wide receiver split out either side, and for Enderlin, looking to at least get 4 or 5 yards here and make it a manageable 4th down opportunity as Wendell right up the middle runs over Hovelson, and Hovelson says, "All right, you can get 2 yards, but you're not getting any more than that."
Interesting play call, 3rd and 15, right around 2 minutes here to go. They must have something drawn up nice and big here for the 4th down play.
Trying to get a little bit closer. Clock continues to wind. Maple River with 2 timeouts remaining, while the Enderlin Eagles, they have 3. They will need to get to the Raider 29-yard line for the 1st. And Maple River has done a good job here tonight tackling and swarming to the football more times than not in a particular play or possession. Wall with Ammerman to his left-hand side here for the Eagles. Pocket has some time, looking for a deep post pattern. Wall then will cut it up inside, breaks a couple tackles there, and still loose to the 35-yard line before he's met there for a gain of 8. They were looking for Bartholomew down the middle of the field. Wall unable to chuck it, and it's a turnover on downs.
He had one-on-one early like he's going to have all day, but unfortunately he wasn't able to pull the trigger, and then by the time that he decided to pull it down, he had guys all over him.
That drive able to amass 4 minutes and nearly 30 seconds on the clock here. And now Maple River, how aggressive are you going into the half, knowing that you have the ball to start the 3rd quarter as well, Nathan?
As a guy that used to call offensive plays, you run that 4-wide formation on that 2-point conversion last possession to see what look you got. I really like the look that they got from the Enderlin defense. They're not coming out in it here, but if they need something big here later on, come back to that formation.
Let's see how quickly the Raiders are able to get going with T. Silling. Hand off. That goes to Reamer again, and Bartholomew makes the tackle for a gain of 1.
I think that's the first time the first guy's taken him down here tonight.
I would agree. 5 carries for 87 yards. Hovelson 9 for 66. That's a nice 1-2 combination with Enderlin having all 3 timeouts. If you're Coach Fontaine too, hey, you don't want to have a quick 3 and out here and give the ball back to the Eagles. They're more than willing to chew up some clock here and get to the half up by 30.
Correct. It'll be interesting to see how this play call goes right here. Do you go play action, see if you can hit something, or are you just going to be conservative and go to the half knowing you have the ball in the 3rd quarter?
2nd and about 8 upcoming here. I formation with Hovelson. Dot in the I. Pitch play goes to Clay. Clay somehow emerges past the 40 to the 45 and pops the shoulder down and gets close to midfield for a gain of 13 yards.
I think if Clay really wanted another 13, 14, 15 yards, he could have, but he decided to lower the boom on the little kid here on the outside, number 11. Just a freshman, but he took him down. But I think Clay could have gotten a little more if he decided to go to the sideline.
How about that? in terms of Clay's being patient, right? Sometimes they're asked to plateau a little bit. Sometimes they're guys will say, hey, just get the 3-4 yards, right? If it's there, 3 yards is better than plateauing out and getting a loss of 3. But Hovelson did a really good job waiting for his seam, and then once he got that seam, he was like a bullet out of a shotgun there, or the cannon in one side of the end zone, and able to get the first down.
Yeah, he's the definition of a one-cut runner. He doesn't really, make a whole lot of moves in the open field, but he puts his foot in the ground when he sees that seam, and he just goes downhill as quickly as possible.
Bismarck Century, Fargo, Shanley tied at 7 and 11. AA football, North Prairie all over Nelson County right now in 9-man football, 30-0. Also, Carrington leads Park River 14-0 at the half, and 11B football. Those are some of the scores from across the state. We'll give you more. Also, Lemoore Litchfield Marion leads Mayport CG after 1 quarter of play, 14-12. That's a nip and tuck game after the opening 12 minutes there, Nathan, in Mayville.
That score's interesting. 12 points given up by the Lobos. All right.
Something you haven't said too often in recent years.
Exactly right.
1st and 10, ball right at midfield here. Pitch play, that goes to Hovelson. Cuts back and look out. Hovelson got a lane. 40, 30, 20. And Hovelson is taken down at least 17 for a gain of 33.
That was some miscommunication there. One of the two, either T or Clay, went the wrong direction, but just made a play, got the ball into the best player's hands, and then let him go make a play.
11 carries for 112 yards now for Hovelson. As with one timeout remaining, the Raiders offense getting to the ball, hurry, and maybe with that hurry, there was a fumble, and fortunate there for Maple River that T was able to get back on it. And now we'll get a timeout here for the Raiders. That'll be their final one, and we'll keep it here. That's one, if you're Coach Fontaine, you don't want to use that timeout in that situation as you're quickly trying to get to line. Does this become a passing situation from here on out where the clock stops if you get out of bounds or get the first, but where we are in the game, Hoots, is this all passing moving forward now for Maple River?
I think you're for sure taking a shot into the end zone here to begin, but you're probably calling 2 plays in the huddle here. Anything that doesn't go out of bounds or doesn't get past the chains, you better be able to run up and run another play right away, because 21 seconds in high school football is not a whole lot of time when the clock does not stop if it doesn't go out of bounds or get past the chain. So hopefully 2 plays are being called here if you plan on not trying to get out of bounds.
If you're Enderlin, I know the old adage as well, just, put 6 guys at the line, goal line, right, and say you're not getting in, but that's not how you always play with 21 seconds left. If there's 2 seconds, sure, but not with 21 seconds.
Yeah, you can't do a prevent defense here. 1 missed tackle and it's a touchdown. You don't want anything like that to happen.
Full house backfield again. Might we smell play action, or do you just trust that, hey, the Reamers, the Hovelsons, they've been able to find the lane and the hole, and we trust them to do it again if you're a Maple River fan. This one, well, there's the play action down the field. This one's going to be incomplete at the 15-yard line as T. Stilling was getting pressured. That went right through the hands of Connor Dahl. Clock does stop with 16 seconds. That play right there took 5 seconds to run, and now it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it's something you don't want to ever see, a drop or an incompletion, but in that scenario, without any timeouts left, you'd rather see the ball on the ground there than short of the first down and inbounds.
So with 16 seconds, this might be where you go back to that 4 wide, that maybe more spread. We saw that a lot early in the season, and as the season has gone on, we've seen more of the full house I formation of backfield here, and here does come a little bit of the spread.
Going 3-by-1 for the first time this year. Interesting.
And the one is Hovelson, and the safety is over the top a little bit. Hovelson has a one-on-one opportunity. T evades the pocket here. Looking down the field, T still has some time. He's going to throw this one into the end zone. It's caught for the touchdown. 17 yards for the score on a broken play. T. Silling with the passing touchdown as the cannons go off yet again to Stephen Drogan for the score.
That was a great play. He understood that realistically he probably wasn't going to get in the end zone on that play, so he just extended the play as long as possible. And then it just became the scramble drill. Somebody get open as quickly as possible, and then just backyard football.
Now they were looking for Hovelson to get into the end zone with that one-on-one opportunity. Really good coverage on the outside there, trying to get that little up and go, if you will, or out and up.
It is
there.
great coverage when you tackle him, so that's good.
Well, says a true coach there on the sideline for Nathan Hoots with 6 seconds left here in this first half. Ball is fumbled, and T. Silling just pounces on it. We'll keep it here before we get to the half. And Nathan, let's just get your first half thoughts overall from both of these sides. Let's start with the team that's up by 36 in Maple River. Why has this felt like such a flawless game?
Offensive diversity. So many guys are touching the ball, and right now, if they're not running the ball, T's making good decisions on the outside as the quarterback. Little adjustments here and there by Enderlin's defense, and they've been able to counter it with just hard-nosed running the entire half.
17-yard touchdown pass again to Drogan for the score there to make it 36-0 on the opposite side if you're Enderlin. We've seen some good things here this evening with the running ability for Anthony Wendell and Trey Wall, but the couple bad things is anytime Wall has to throw, it seems like pressure is there more times than not. What has to change if you're an Enderlin fan just going into the second half to do some cleanup things and try to find a way, as we've seen the ball get moved for a first down or two, Nathan, but maybe get the big play or sustain a drive.
Be interesting to see if Coach Bergstad has any type of spread formations to try to just, lessen that box count for Trey in the middle. The box count is how many defensive players, do they have inside the tackle box or the tight end box here in 9-man football? Right now it's 8. And that's just not effective right now. Enderlin's not able to block them man on man. If they can lessen that box count by maybe putting 2 or 3 receivers out, give Trey a little bit more breathing room to run in between the tackles.
Coming up at the half, we will go over the homecoming coronation court for both the Hope Page and Maple Valley school districts. Also, take a look at the first half stats and some more out-of-town scores. That's all coming up on our halftime show. End over end kick. Bartholomew will pick it up at the 23-yard line. Bartholomew trying to evade a tackler, unable to do so as Hovelson comes down and takes him down at the 30-yard line with 1 second left to play here in this first half. So one more play, then they'll get to the half here, and we'll get a look at the opening 24 minutes with a scoring recap as well, and where the score stands right now. It would be running time in the second half to start things off, as they'll make sure they get the proper football out there, as they'll change it up here to the Enderlin Eagle football, as Enderlin will come out and might just be a QB keeper here for Wall to finish off the opening 24 minutes as both teams would get to the half. As Wall will come under center, and he will take the knee, and that'll do it here in a very impressive opening half for Maple River. A touchdown, punt, touchdown, and touchdown here for the Raiders. 6 possessions, 5 touchdowns. That is efficiency for Maple River. On our City of Hope scoreboard, after one half of play, it's the Raiders 36, the Eagles scoreless. Stats coming up next here on your live event.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, and great educational opportunities, there hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. With the Hope Golf Course, you can enjoy your personal time in town. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
There's another way to minimize your farm's risk and protect its equity with margin protection coverage. This is Bethany Rentz, crop insurance agent with IRE Insurance. Margin protection provides coverage against an unexpected decrease or increase in operating margin. In other words, we can put a policy in place to protect you from changing input costs and crop prices on your farm. Let us help you explore this option between now and September 30th to get you covered. For more information, go to IREINS.com.
You're protected and appreciated at IRE.
My name is Jared, born and raised in Minnesota, and I'm a project director at Enbridge. Enbridge is more than a pipeline company. It's a company participating in renewable energy projects in Minnesota and abroad, and I'm really proud to be working here.
We believe a cleaner energy future is achievable. For over 20 years, we've been early adopters of renewable energy, and we're proudly committed to net zero emissions by 2050. To hear more from Jared, visit enbridge.com/Jared. That's JERRID.
Do you want that new boat? Are you building onto your home? Maybe you want the new camper or ATV. Dakota Heritage Bank can help you. This is Dustin Nagel, president at Dakota Heritage Bank Hillsborough location. You can visit with me or our other loan officers to help with loans and lines of credit from Dakota Heritage Bank. We are serving you with locations in North Dakota and Northwest Minnesota. Dakota Heritage Bank offers financial services you expect with a local perspective. dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Jace Miller, Nathan Hoots with you here. Also, Reggie Funk. Thank you very much for tuning in, and make sure you patronize all of our score sponsors and tuning our scoreboard sponsor, logos, commercials, the whole 9 yards. Without them, we would be unable to be here right now. Maple River taking full advantage of the Enderlin Eagles so far, particularly on the running game. Let's take a look at the scoring recap here for Maple River. 16 points in the first quarter, 20 in the second. Enderlin scoreless in the opening 24 minutes. First score came from Clay Hovelson, a 4-yard rushing touchdown with 7:49 left to play in the first quarter, making it 8-0 with the Roarback 2-point conversion. Then with 6:54 left to play in the first quarter, a Reamer 28-yard rushing score, 2-point conversion goes to Wyatt Silling, made it 16-0 Raiders with 6:54 left in the first quarter. Then with 7:47 left to play in the second quarter, Reamer with a 3-yard rushing touchdown, 2-point conversion, no good. 5:09 left to play in the first half, Reamer with a 43-yard rushing touchdown, 2-point conversion by Roarbeck. And then with 6 seconds left to play in the first half, Silling hit Drogan for a 17-yard touchdown. Let's continue to look at some of the stats here as I think Nathan Hoots is making his way towards the flag football game. Maybe we'll get Nathan the opportunity to do some play-by-play down there. Hoots, I just got to ask you quickly, do you know any of these future kids for Enderlin or Maple River coming up down there?
Well, yeah, I got all these kids in fight every single day. So anytime they don't throw a spiral, don't catch it, they're going to hear about it on Monday. I promise you that.
Oh, my gosh, it'll be a little bit of fun. Back to the flag football days where everyone just goes out in the post pattern as number 20 is able to get to about the 9-yard line on that play. This is what I love about flag football. Just go. It doesn't matter if it's a post play. It doesn't matter if it's a curl or anything else. So it's just go and run and try to beat the person lining up.
That's exactly right. Number 20, Aiden Hanig, you probably heard his sister, get called on occasion if you pay attention to any Maple River girls basketball. Addison's a pretty good athlete in her right as well.
I'll zoom in here a little bit for folks at home to enjoy the halftime festivities here as the coronation will be coming out as well in a moment for homecoming. Take a look at the first half numbers, 266 yards of total offense for Maple River. They've had 233 yards on the ground in 20 attempts and 43 yards passing. So far, 1 penalty for 5 yards and 0 turnovers. Clay Hovelson, 11 carries for 112 yards and a touchdown. Dylan Reamer, though, 5 carries, 87 yards, and 3 scores. Dahl, 3 carries for 29 yards, and Silling just had to get on the ball. 0 carries for 1 carry for 0 yards. 2 of 5 is T passing through the air for 43 yards and a touchdown. 1 catch and a score for Drogan right before the half of 17. And Santrum, 1 catch for 26 yards. In comparison for the Enderlin Eagles so far here tonight, 52 yards of total offense, 21 carries, 47 yards, and 5 yards passing. Trey Wall, 11 carries for 26 yards. Wendell, 9 for 36. Wall, 1 of 4 through the air for 5 yards. And the 5-yard reception by the Enderlin Eagles by Christensen as the homecoming court is coming out here with Hope Page and the Maple Valley School Districts as well, as we will continue to have this coming through here. Hoots, how cool is it when it is homecoming night? I know, as you mentioned earlier as a coach, a lot of other stuff comes into play here in terms of keeping everyone's head just particularly on the game. But right now with homecoming and the score it's been a good homecoming for Raider fans at this particular junction.
That certainly has. As a coach, you're not too upset, having to deal with the distractions at halftime when you're up 36-0. If it's the other way around, you might be a little frustrated and trying to, move things along a little quicker, but let them enjoy it now. They've really played well here in the first half. Let them enjoy the moment.
As we're seeing one of the king and queens from the Hope Page School District come out, and we know the king, we mentioned it earlier, the guard of Liam Satcham so far with a receiving play, a guy that was a quarterback last year on the guard this year. Now it's going to be some of the Maple Valley kids coming out here as well as they come out and honor the homecoming coronation. How cool is it sometimes? I know co-ops can be tough, right? Because you're going 40 minutes one way for practice, coming back 40 minutes afterwards. You're doing homework and getting to school. But in this situation, kind of cool to see everybody coming together. And earlier today in Hope, you had the entire school districts of Hope Page and Maple Valley all converge, whether it's been kindergarten or a senior, all come together here earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, that was really cool to see everybody in the same gym. Pre-K all the way through the seniors. It was a really great atmosphere to get everybody in the same gym, get some of those younger kids to see some of their future teammates here, in the coming years, and just get everybody excited about the co-op. It's been, like we talked about it after basketball season. At the beginning of this co-op, there was a lot of people that were like, "Oh, I don't know how this is going to go." I tell you what, there's not many people that feel that way right now. It's been great. The kids at practice, it's like they've been together for years, and it's only been 6 weeks. It's really been a success.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll put a recap on this first 24 minutes of football. Also, after that, we'll get to a look at our out-of-town scores. It's all still to come. Again, at the half, it's Maple River 36, the Enderlin Eagles scoreless. It's 9B football on your live event.
Here, it's way more hands-on. The college has better equipment than the shop I'm at now. Like, you name it, they got it. You get to use your tools and your hands a lot more. My name is Sean, and I'm here for my future.
First week of college, I can't tell you how many friends I've made. It's a family, you know what I mean? Like, every time I go to a meeting, like, everyone knows my name. They're always kind to me. I love it. I can't explain how much I love it here. My name is Junior, and I'm here for my future.
Hey, what you doing?
Crawling around under my planter trying to figure out if I need any maintenance parts replaced.
It's harvest time, buddy.
Yeah, I know, but the guys at RDK Enterprises keep reminding me to check now, just in case I need something ordered.
What do I look for?
Just give RDK a call and ask some questions. They are the guys I go to for answers.
This is Chris from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. We will answer all of your planter questions or come out to your farm and take a look at your planter. Give us a call, 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
Serving Mahnomen and the surrounding communities for 34 years, it's Brigham and Super Value, your hometown grocery store in Mahnomen. Stop by today. Great weekly specials, delicious fresh produce, along with baked goods that are baked fresh daily, and a fully stocked meat department. Great deals. You'll find them at your hometown grocery store, Brigham and Super Value. Celebrating 34 years, it's your hometown grocery store, Brigham and Super Value in Mahnomen.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, and great educational opportunities, there hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. With the Hope Golf Course, you can enjoy your personal time in town. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
As we continue here on our halftime show, Fargo North leads Fargo South 14-0 at the half. Fargo Shanley leads Bismarck Century 14-7. Hatton Northwood over Griggs Makota 32-14 at the half. That's an interesting one in Region 2 again after Griggs defeated Enderlin. So that would mean that both of those teams in Hatton Northwood and Griggs would both have one win. Maple River would have two. They would own the head-to-head already with Hatton Northwood. And if they would win as well next week, that would at least be a 2 seed, and they would host a playoff game on October the 15th. If they could beat Mayport CG, we can talk like this, Nathan. We're in the booth. We're not on the sidelines worrying about the next 24 minutes. And then if somehow you worry, take care of business here, take care of business next week, and look ahead to Mayport CG, Maple River could find themselves as well, possibly with a bye. What's your thought of the score at the half? Also, Mayport CG over Lemoore Litchell Marion at the half, 18-14. So Lemoore did not score in the second quarter. Which score is more intriguing to you, Nathan? Hatton Northwood and Griggs, the Thunder up 32-14, or Mayport CG up by 4 over Lemoore Litchell Marion?
Yeah, the Lemoore score would certainly be something that caught my ear right there when you were saying that. It was surprising when you told me it was 14-12. Now 18-14. I couldn't tell you the last time that Lemoore was down in a game, let alone down against Mayville's a good team. They really are. The addition of adding the kids from Finley Sharon has really been beneficial to their depth as well as their playmaking. So that's certainly interesting. It could be, you don't want to look too far ahead, but apparently a possible Dakota Bowl preview.
Zyler Carlson as well with 3 first-half touchdowns for Mayport CG. At the half, West Fargo Cheyenne all over Grand Forks Red River in 11, a AA and 11A football. Cheyenne 21 to nothing over Red River. Here's a score for you in Region 1 at the half. Waimea Lidgewood 22, Hankinson 7. Andrew Orth with 110 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns for the Warbirds. Any surprise in that one? Because if you're a Richland Colts fan, you got to take care of Tri-State. You do. If you beat Hankinson, the Colts then would knock the Pirates out of the playoffs if this score holds, with the Warbirds trying to knock out the Pirates here tonight.
That's certainly interesting, but it always catches my ear when you say an odd number in 9-man football. It means they kicked an extra point, which is always interesting to me. But no, Wyndmere, the way that they dominate the line of scrimmage, I haven't seen a whole lot of Hankinson yet this year, but they were really small up front last year. They excelled when the game got out in the open field. The game they played against Wyndmere at the end of last year was something 50 to something to 40 something. It was ridiculous. So team speed on both sides of the ball is elite for both of those squads. So I'm sure the difference in that game right now is probably the line play that Wyndmere is slightly more talented there.
Botno going from 9-man to 11-man, and hey, they haven't had a loss. Botno 28-0 over Rugby at the half in 11B football. The Braves on their way to make the playoffs in 11B. In 11A, Jamestown up by 7 over Wahpeton at the half, 13-6. That's a closer game than maybe the experts, as Lee Corso would say, at particular times. So those are some of the scores from across the state of North Dakota and throughout the valley as well that we have them so far. So the 9-man games, we mentioned it earlier coming in tonight, Region 1, Region 2, Nathan. Final thing here in terms of our scoreboard watch. Region 1, Region 2, we were going to know a lot of what the playoff scenarios would be in the second to last or the last week moving forward here. And if it continues to hold the way it is, if you're a Maple River fan, it looks like you're going to be in the playoffs. Then it's just a matter of what seed 1, 2, or 3 are you going to be moving forward.
That's exactly right. You're starting to look at those scenarios. Who is that 3 seed from Region 1 that you're possibly going to be facing? You never want to, as a coach, start looking ahead at film, but maybe start saving those films on Huddle for 3-4 weeks from now, just in case, so you're not underprepared when you only have those 6 days to get ready for a team in the playoffs.
We're going to take a quick break. We're back after this with the second half in Hope, North Dakota on our City of Hope scoreboard. Work and play in Hope, North Dakota, from job listings and housing options. Search HopeND.com. That's HopeND.com. It's Maple River 36, Enderlin scoreless. It will be Enderlin to kick off the third quarter of play when we come back here on your live event.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders. As they compete both on and off the field and on the court, you put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish your goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience that you can trust to get the job done with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, contact Triple E Incorporated, 701-668-2258, or stop by the office in Page. Make your next project a winner with a team from Triple E Incorporated in Page.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hope-page.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Larson Parts and Repair Inc., Highway 59 in Bijou does it all. They provide full shop services for your tractors, combines, trucks, pickups, and cars. Their tire department carries a full line of name brand tires, and they've got state-of-the-art alignment equipment. And don't forget about the parts department. They have parts for just about anything, right down to your lawnmower. Call today, 218-935-2774. Larson Parts and Repair Inc., Highway 59 in Bijou.
The Maple Valley School District is moving forward with the plan to build a new pre-K classroom, community fitness center, and gymnasium with locker rooms. The classroom will provide more space for a growing pre-K program. The fitness center will provide opportunities to benefit all Maple Valley communities, and the gym will allow more opportunities for all activities of the Maple River Co-op. Plus, the plan is to build with no new taxes. Contact the business manager to see how you can help make this a reality today at 701-749-2570.
Come back here, the final moments of the third quarter as they'll put the ball on the tee at the 40-yard line. Nathan, I know we kind of recapped the first half a little bit in terms of your thoughts about 15, 20 minutes ago. Put your coaching hat on again. What are adjustments for both teams going in to this second half here? If you're Larry Fontaine, is it run left, run right? You got a running clock. Get out of here with, little scars as possible with 2 games remaining, or is there stuff that you're going to continue to work on here throughout these 24 minutes?
Yeah, I'm going to keep the ball on the ground as much as possible. I'm going to give T. Silling a couple throws here in the second half just to build off what was probably his best first half of the year. But if you're Enderlin, I think, it's something like we talked about, giving him a spread look, trying to minimize that box count to try to, maximize the ability for Trey to be able to run between the tackles, because it's been tough for him thus far. If you put 8 guys in the box, you make it bring 6 in a hurry, and Trey's on his back foot within 2 steps.
Enderlin will put this one on the tee at the 40-yard line with Bartholomew here. Maple River with 5 guys right at about the 50 to 45-yard line. Just maybe expecting a squibber or possibly an onside kick here to start things off, potentially in this second half as well. So fresh 12 minutes on the clock. Both teams, again, will have 3 timeouts in this second half. 24 minutes remain in this contest between the Eagles and the Raiders on homecoming here for the Hope Page and Maple Valley school districts that combine to make up Maple River Athletics. So low roller to Clay Hovelson. Hovelson at the 20, 25. Hovelson splits out to the 35-yard line, 40. Hovelson, could he go 50? Hovelson 40, 35, 30. Hovelson taken down past the 25 and down to the Eagle 23-yard line. Maple River plus field position to open up this third quarter of play with 11:48 here in the third quarter. They'll mark it at the 23-yard line.
Definitely not what you want if you're an Enderlin fan coming out of the half. You hope maybe get a 3 and out here to start the second half and get something positive going, but not a great start here.
And this is one now if you're at Maple River, again, with the way that we've been seeing them run the football here, you can pick your poison. Reamer, we've seen Dahl a little bit. We've seen a lot of Hovelson as well. Where are they going to go? Right up the middle. That goes to Dahl. Dahl then gets past the original line to about the 21 for a gain of 2. Connor Dahl 4 carries now for 26 yards. Brings up second down upcoming here for Maple River. From week number 1 to where we are now to week number 6, what have you seen the evolution of this Raider team so far from your point of view, Nathan?
I think just clarity for them as to what their identity is. At the beginning of the year, they were dabbling back and forth every other play, every other possession with, spread, then wishbone, then out of the eye with a wing. And they've kind of settled on being a power run team, and then, play action. So it's run, take a shot, run, play action, take a shot. And that's a great philosophy when you have a running back and now a stable of running backs, as we've seen tonight for the Raiders.
As Hovelson gets popped right at the line to the 21, as Caden Ammerman, the defensive end, the senior at 6'3", 190 pounds, delivered the hit. Makes it 3rd and long here for Maple River. Again, it is a running time, so even on an incompletion, the clock will continue to move at this particular juncture of the game. 3rd down here for Maple River. Ball spotted at the 13-yard line. Pitch out to Hovelson, makes a man miss after it gets a block to the 15-yard line. Hovelson dances into the end zone. Touchdown, Maple River! With 10:20 left to play in the third quarter, Hovelson goes the distance for a 20-yard rushing touchdown.
I was thinking about the last 10 yards there. He was dancing, trying to stay in bounds, and he managed to keep his momentum in the field of play for about 3 or 4 steps there.
Hovelson with his second rushing touchdown of the game. Was that better tiptoe coverage than what you have for your balance? As there's a leg cannon boost that rippled the airwaves here in Hope.
Yeah, I would have jogged out of bounds at the 10 there and probably fallen over on the slightly wet turf here.
So Holbelson with a 20-yard rushing touchdown, 2-point conversion upcoming, shotgun formation. T Silling in the gun, pops it out to Holbelson. Does it hit the ground? It does, and that'll be an incompletion. But a new score on our Hope scoreboard. It's 42-0 Maple River. We're back after this in Hope, North Dakota. It's 9-man football on your live event.
The Maple Valley Parents Organization is an organization whose main purpose is to support all Maple Valley student activities and to promote a healthy environment and attitudes for the youth. Their aim is to encourage growth and interest in these areas by supporting them in a sportsmanlike manner. The Maple Valley Parents Organization is open to anyone. If you'd like to become a member or see upcoming events, like their Facebook page by searching Maple Valley Parents Organization on Facebook.
MLGC offers ultra-high-speed broadband, streaming TV, telephone, advanced business services, and commercial-grade video surveillance services. MLGC has a goal to continue to deliver future technologies that make rural communities in North Dakota vibrant places in which to live and do business in. They're your local provider who prides itself on its unmatched customer service with a small-town touch. MLGC has offices in Enderlin, Cooperstown, and Kindred. For more info, go to mlgc.com.
For the Maple River Raiders, touchdown possession so far here for the Raiders, as they'll put this one on the tee with Satrum. Satrum has the end-over-end kick. Back to Bartholomew, who picks it up at the 20-yard line, the far side. Bartholomew to the 35, and taking down Rohrbeck and Holbelson. The ball comes out. You heard everyone say ball, and that'll be down at the 34-yard line, and it will be a first down here for Enderlin.
I got a couple helmets on the football there, forced it out, but unfortunately for the Raiders, just recovered about a yard outside of the out-of-bounds line.
If you're Enderlin, again, you go from co-oping with Maple Valley. Over the years for Enderlin, we've seen it up to AA football, to what was AA, to single A. Now you're 9-man. This is your own school district here. What is this first year? Whether you had wins or losses, what is the first year that Eric's trying to provide here for the Enderlin Eagles?
Stability, positive momentum, whether, wins and losses irrelevant right now. They need to keep kids out, because if you have a bad year, you worry that kids aren't going to come out the next year. So stability in numbers is extremely important.
Trey Wall, shotgun formation, taking a shot down the field to Bartholomew, incomplete, and Drogan in on the coverage on that one, looking for a little bit of a back shoulder ball. And that was the one time that we have seen Wall have some time to throw the ball, and that was a really good-looking throw there by Trey. That was incomplete.
Trey's never been a guy that hasn't been able to throw a good ball when he has time. It's just when things are off schedule, his ability to throw the ball can wane a little bit. He had a great throw right there, and it was really good coverage. They let him kind of fight back and forth, hand fighting right there.
Second down and 10 upcoming here for the Raiders. And what's the one thing here, as we mentioned, you got 6'5" Carson Bartholomew out there all the time, but sometimes it's tough to always just say, hey, let's just throw it to Carson and see what happens.
First time all game, look at the matchup we have on your side there, Chase.
And we'll see if they're going to go to that matchup trying to exploit it. It is a post pattern, and Bartholomew gets the 11 yards as they put to the outside. Preston Dow's the 5'9" freshman going up against the 6'6" senior. That's just like the box out drill on the basketball court, running that post pattern for Bartholomew.
It appeared that he had outside leverage, so you're going to allow that inside slant because you have help over the middle with Hovelson right there. So, for a freshman, not bad coverage. And this guy you're giving up like 7-8 inches to.
And that'll be a first down here for the Enderlin Eagles. And right now they're seeing where everyone's going to go to the outside, as that's going to be Dylan Reamer now on the coverage of Bartholomew. First down and 10, lining up to the right-hand side of Wallace Wendell, as he's done throughout this contest. Hovelson through the A-gap, showing pressure, and he's coming on a blitz. Wall, pocket collapses. Wall breaks out of a Rohrbeck sack, and then it's going to be incomplete, as they're going to spot it potentially back at the 36, and you hope that Wall is all right, as well as he is rolling. And now coming off the field, laboring a little bit, as you just hope that it was nothing more than the air got knocked out of him. But they're going to say that Wall was down at the 36-yard line for a sack and a loss of 9 yards.
He did take quite the shot there, sending the trainer over to that side. Hopefully it's nothing more than, like you said, just got the wind knocked out of him. He was grabbing what appears to be his chest area. So hopefully it's just something like that.
As you had Hovelson coming right through the A gap there, and then Rohrbeck was able to get to Wall first. And as Wall came down and threw that ball, that's where you wonder if that's where the hit was before he was taken down. And now being a second down here with under 7 minutes to play in the third quarter on our City of Hope scoreboard. As a new quarterback into the game now for the Enderlin Eagles, and it's a QB keeper, and Hovelson says, new QB, welcome to the Friday Night Lights of Carson Gruba for the freshman.
That's something that, as a defense, you can identify. They're unlikely to let him throw the ball on his first snap of the game, so they're probably going to just sell out on the run. Did a good job wrapping up in the backfield.
And there's a timeout on the field. We'll break with them. 6:36 left to play here in the third quarter. Third and a country mile upcoming here for the Eagles on your live event.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, and great educational opportunities, there hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. With the Hope Golf Course, you can enjoy your personal time in town. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
Still to come on our post-game show, we'll hear from some of the victorious winners here, and right now it looks like it's going to be Coach Fontaine's Raiders on our post-game show. Also, take a look at the final numbers, our Enbridge Energy player of the game, and Hoots, what might be an early indication for our RDK Enterprises Precision play of the game? Was it Hovelson's run to start with the Reamer kickout? Is it one of Reamer's touchdowns? Where do you go here as our play of the game so far to this point?
Can we go the opening play to Liam Satcham down the seam to a guy that hasn't touched the ball probably all year on offense? I'd go that right away. Or the onside kick recovery, if that was an onside kick, that was definitely a momentum shifter.
As Gruba, again, will be the quarterback, as they're going to have Wendell line up to his right. Gruba has some time, pocket collapse, it gets it off, throws it up, and that's going to be picked up by Hovelson, and Bartholomew comes up with the tackle, but Hovelson with the INT.
That's a great read. It looked like Hovelson was coming, and at the very last second, he backed up, and he kind of took that hook girls area and then read what appeared to almost look like a punt and just went and fielded it and made a great play.
So a turnover coming there on the pick, the first turnover on the night for either club, and Hovelson continues just to be a stat stuffer here. 2 rushing touchdowns, now a pick, 13 carries for 132 yards, and Hovelson is playing definitely as an all-region, but an all-state player this season in his senior year for the Raiders.
That's exactly right. Now he's getting a well-deserved rest here.
And these are some moments and opportunities for some new kids coming into the game. As T. Sillin, the sophomore, still under center. Fullback dive to Connor Dahl. Good defense by the Enderlin Eagles line right off the play to identify the fullback dive, and a host of Eagles in on the tackle.
And look who's right back in. 30 seconds ago, he's laying on the ground, and then he's making the play. Very impressive young man right there.
Laboring a little bit as well as he makes that play, but shows you as Eric Frickstead said to start, the heart and soul of this football team here this season for the Enderlin Eagles.
He's one of the toughest kids that I ever coached. It took a lot more than hit after hit after hit to get him out. He never missed a practice, never missed a rep. He's one tough kid.
So second down upcoming here as there's a little bit of confusion in the backfield here for Maple River. It's going to be an I formation for the Raiders, and Silling pitch play goes to Reamer to the outside here. Reamer trying to break a tackle, get to numbers 40-yard line. He stopped down past the 40 to about the 37-yard line for a gain of 7 here for Dylan Reamer, knocking on Century's door. 6 carries for 94 yards.
Great block outside by Marty Rohrbeck, but an even better tackle by the freshman Carson Gruba. He came up, laid the wood, lowered the shoulder, and knocked him backwards.
So coming up here, third down upcoming, Maple River, as they will come out for this third down and short, as the ball will need to get past the 34-yard line for the first. Full house backfield again, as this goes under center with Silling. Handoff coming around to the 30-yard line and getting just the 30 for the first down is Reamer yet again, as he's able to get 10 yards.
This kid is really finding his groove tonight. I think the 1A and 1B combination of Hovelson are going to be really tough to stop here in the future.
As Reamer is able to get over 100 yards now rushing, 7 carries for 106 yards here for Maple River. The clock still continues to wind with 4 minutes left to play in this third quarter. Still to come here for Maple River Senior Night a week from tonight here on your live event on September the 30th against Griggs Makota. Then at Mayport CG on October the 7th for the Enderlin Eagles. Their next two games against a top 5 team in Mayport CG at home, and then at Hatton Northwood in Hatton on October the 7th. Full house backfield again, hand off to the outside, Rohrbeck. Rohrbeck gets the 25-yard line to the 10, to the 5, to the end zone. Is he in? He's looking for the pylon, and they're going to give it to him. Rohrbeck slithered his way for 28 yards and the score.
Really happy for that kid right there. Virtually all season, he's been a lead blocker. And to be able to take advantage of one of those rare handoffs that he gets and take it to the house is pretty awesome.
And Maple River continuing to lay it on here in the third quarter with their rushing ability. It's been there for most of the evening, and it's Rohrbeck this time that finds the end zone for 6 on the 28-yard rushing touchdown. And the two-point conversion upcoming here for Maple River. And right now, everything from start to finish has been right to what Coach Fontaine has game planned up as a head coach here tonight. As this will be a full house backfield again with T. Silling. This one's going to be the left-hand side, and that's going to be popped, and the two-point conversion is no good to Caleb Dowse on the run. We'll break as well on our City of Hope scoreboard. A new score, it's Maple River up by 48 on your live event.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in North Dakota, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
Let's get to our out-of-town scoreboard here in nine-man football. South Border all over Napoleon Gackle Streeter. South Border 54, Napoleon Gackle Streeter 14 in nine-man football here tonight. Also, Southern McLean over Hart River in 11B, a 20-6 after 3 quarters of play. We will continue to keep scores going on tonight. You can go to yourliveevent.com. That's yourliveevent.com for other games throughout the Red River Valley here this evening, or just hit subscribe on Your Live Event on our YouTube page. The games are free. You can watch them on demand as well. Chase Miller with you alongside Nathan Hoots and Reggie Funk in a night that has been perfect. I'm just looking for a bonfire probably afterwards with some marshmallows, a hot dog, and a burger. This one goes end over end at the 30-yard line. That'll be kicked out of bounds, and we'll have the penalty upcoming here against Maple River. So good starting field position now for the Enderlin Eagles, and this will give them the opportunity here. And in a contest like this, after getting nicked up a little bit with Trey Wall as a coach, and if you're in Eric's mind right now, Nathan, do you still continue to allow your senior to come out here because this is senior season, or are you looking at the health of a young man as well in this particular situation?
You got to find that balance. It's tough to tell a kid that's as tough as he is to not stay in the game. You'd probably give him this possession in the third quarter here and then maybe move on to the freshman.
As I'll start out with the ball at the 35-yard line here with 2:33 left to play in this third quarter. It is the second possession of the half here for the Enderlin Eagles. With this result, they'll drop to 1-5 overall and 0-2 in the region. Handoff, Wendell right up the middle, and Anthony Wendell gets past the 40 to the 45-yard line and taken down for an 11-yard rush.
Nice, good hard run there. What I like to see as a coach, former coach, he knocks the guy over, and first thing he does, sets the ball down, doesn't toss it to anyone or do anything stupid, and then helps the guy up. I love to see that.
1st and 10 after the 10-yard rush for Wendell. Now 10 carries for 47 yards. The sportsmanship will come there with Nathan Hoots for keeping those stats as much as possible as well. 1st and 10, shotgun formation. And we might have a false start there on the line, just a half of a second too early, and it is. And it'll be now 3 penalties for 20 yards here for the Eagles tonight.
You know, like what you said there with that sportsmanship, it's not something that obviously gets marked down. No one's ever going to talk about that, but that's something you stop when you're watching film on Monday or whatever day you decide to watch film and just say, hey, this is what our program is all about right here. Doing the little stuff like that 99% of the people here don't catch, but really means something.
And as the officials, they appreciate it as well. If they're not going to get the ball directly thrown to them, they would appreciate just putting it right where it was finished on the play. Shotgun formation here for Wall. Has some time. Wall now steps up. Wall trying to stiff arm a Raider. Does pass the 45. Then he's taken down close to midfield for about a gain of 8 yards as Liam Satcham comes in as part of the 1-2 combination with Dylan Reamer on the tackle. Wall continues to work here. 13 carries now for 24 yards for Wall so far. 2nd down and 7 upcoming. This is one for the Enderlin Eagles. As we mentioned, co-op with Maple Valley for 15 years, known as the Falcons in that nickname. Enderlin Sheldon co-op from 81 to 96, known as the Eagles. There's Enderlin in 1980. Crazy to look back at their particular history as well. And the same here for Maple River with now the new co-ops of Hope Page and the Maple Valley school districts. 2nd down and long upcoming here for Enderlin right at midfield. Wall has to roll to the right-hand side, looking to pick up a block. Wall now to the 50-yard line. Rohrbeck is there. Ball is out, and guess who pops on it? The freshman, Preston Dowes, recovers the fumble.
Marty Rohrbeck with a big strip. As soon as he saw that Wall had the ball kind of not tucked away, he went and just gave him a big old bear club. And then Dow was all over it right in front of the sideline.
7 seconds left here in this this 3rd quarter. It's the 3rd possession here of the quarter, and Maple River right now will have it at their own 48-yard line. Really good play that time. If the ball is going to be out, pop it out, and better pursuit there by the freshman. How have you liked Preston Dowse so far getting his first start at linebacker here tonight, Hoots?
You always wonder if they're going to play 100 miles an hour, and you tell them as a coach, hey, just go as hard as you possibly can. If you make a mistake going 100 miles an hour, and he is doing that. But there hasn't been any, gigantic mistakes that he's made. He's given up 1 pass reception, but, like we talked about, I think he had outside leverage and was willing to give that up. He's making plays as a freshman. That's really impressive.
So T. Silling under center here in this full house backfield. Look, we've seen it almost about 80% of this night tonight as Dahl gets about a 1-yard rush to end this 3rd quarter. So Dahl now with 6 carries and 27 yards. After 3 quarters of play, it's Maple River up by 48 on our City of Hope scoreboard on your live event.
Let's get real. You're ready for a place that's big enough to grow and small enough to care. So get ready for the University of Minnesota Crookston. With more than 30 majors, minors, and certificates, you'll earn a University of Minnesota degree in a close-knit community where faculty become friends and friends feel like family. And to get a degree that can make a difference, you don't need a big city, just big dreams. The University of Minnesota Crookston. Real, hands-on, ready.
If Mayport CG beats Lemoore, they become number 1, right? How far does Lemoore go down?
Probably to 2. That would be my.
We're back here on your live event here with Hope as the Enderlin Eagles and the Maple River Raiders. And we were talking a little bit there off air, just saying about the Morlish Marion and Hoots, from a point of view here, if Mayport CG and the Morlish Marion both win their respective divisions, the question is, where do you become in seeding? And obviously you want a top 2 seed to host throughout the playoffs, but what do you think? How far would you go as an undefeated team losing to an undefeated team?
Yeah, in my opinion, the history speaks for itself. You're dealing with the best team in the state, losing to, another top 5 team. I wouldn't drop them any farther than number 2, because obviously, if that is the game that you got tonight, you would like to see that potential to have that matchup 1 versus 2 again in the Dome in November.
Dow's able to get a couple of yards there on the rush as Coach Larry Fontaine able to get some different faces in here in this 2nd half of play as well. They're starting to see some new guys and Caleb Dowes, we were able to see that last rush with Preston Dowes. So you got Caleb, the junior, Preston coming in as well. Seeing Connor Dahl making his way to check out and take a play out or two off here. So these are situations, teaching moments for both teams and opportunities on a Friday night light here for T. Silling still under center. Third down upcoming here for Maple River. Pitch play and great tackle in the backfield by guess who? Trey Wall after Bobby Burkfield, the junior, had the pitch play, and that's going to be a loss of 5.
You can only talk about a kid's toughness so much. That this kid now moved in. He's playing a little D tackle now instead of linebacker. I don't understand, why, but the kid played for the Falcons last year. He played safety, he played corner, he played backer, he played end. The kid can play anywhere. Impressive young man.
Fourth down, and this will just be the second punt of the game for the Maple River Raiders. And right now they just got to make sure they got enough guys out there and try to get this punt off for the second time as Santrum comes back at the 35-yard line. Bartholomew stands back at his own 23-yard line right now for the Enderlin Eagles. As this one is going to be a clean snap. Santrum able to get this one off the right-footed end-over-end kick past the 30. Takes a Raider roll past the 20 and down to the 15-yard line here for a punt of 39 yards to flip the field as Maple River has their first punt of the half and their second of the game. Enderlin with 10:10 left to play here in this fourth quarter will start with the football at their own 15-yard line. So the Enderlin Eagles, after scoring 44 points against Tri-State back on August the 19th, a loss to Lemoore, Weimar, Lidgerwood, but that's a 1-2 combination to have to go up against. Losing to the Lobos and the Warbirds, falling to Hankinson and Griggs Makota. 4 straight games being shut out, and they're on the verge of their 5th straight game, unable to get in the end zone here for the Eagles. Shotgun formation, one wide receiver on either side. As you have Wall, handoff, fumble on the play, and Maple River looks like to cover it back at the 12-yard line, and the Raiders do as they come up with the fumble recovery. That'll be Calvin Satrum.
Just a mishandled snap there between center and quarterback, the quarterback and the running back. Miscommunication as to who was probably supposed to take it, and Satrum was right there to make the play.
Here, Enderlin, an interception, fumble, and fumble in your last 3 possessions here. And now Maple River will handle it here in positive territory as well for the Raiders. Tough one there if you're a Enderlin Eagle fan trying to get something going here in this fourth quarter, as Maple River will handle it now at the 13-yard line. Full house backfield, new player into the game. Bobby Bergfeld one more time in the back, also with Preston Dowes. And we're going to have a false start, looks to be on the fullback there in Marty Rohrbeck, and that'll be a penalty here for Maple River. Their third of the contest with the kickoff and also an illegal start earlier in this contest.
A little bit of a illegal snap, you would call it, a snap infraction by the center. First time probably all year that they got Gabe Burtson in here running the quarterback in just a slightly different cadence. Maybe it just threw him off.
And you're going to get some fresh faces on the line, too. You have Harley Hushka, the sophomore, playing on the outside here. You still got Satrum there and Calvin on the line, as he'll be handling the snap at this particular juncture. As Nathan said, new quarterback into the game as well here for Maple River. This is going to be a pitch play to the outside. A Rohrbeck. Rohrbeck going to get tripped up right at about the line at the 17-yard line. Give him about a gain of 1 on the play. So far to our count, Nathan, we've got Reamer, you got Rohrbeck, you got Dahl, Bergfield, Silling, Dowes, and Hovelson. That's a lot of guys who have been able to have at least 1 or more rushes here tonight for the Raiders.
Yeah, you love to see that as a coach when you're doing stats, whether it's tonight or tomorrow morning, getting all those guys with all those rushing attempts. That's pretty awesome.
Second and long here for Maple River. Bernston will be out there again, the freshman quarterback at 5'10", 140 pounds in the I formation. Pitch play goes to the outside here for the Raiders. And that one goes to the outside to Preston Dowes. And Glarum there, part of the coverage to make the tackle for the Enderlin Eagles. 2 carries for 2 yards. So Reamer will look to finish with 7 carries for 104 yards tonight and 3 touchdowns. You have Hovelson with 13 carries, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns here tonight as well. That's just a 1-2 combination.
Might get too many guys in the huddle here with Coach Fontaine almost out at the hash, giving him the place.
Making sure that everything goes over properly. I mean, hey, you get 4 full quarters to coach, and Larry Fontaine is taking full advantage of it here tonight.
I wouldn't want to see anything different.
As this is going to be under center again, as they're trying to get it off before it gets to 0 on the play clock. Gets down to 5. Here's the QB keeper. Little hesitation move here, and goes to about the 19-yard line again for Bernston, as that's going to be a loss of 2 yards. So at this result here for Maple River, this punches a ticket again into the postseason with their second Region 2 win of the year. They'll have 2 games to go. Also, they'll get to 4-2 here on the season as well, with their final home game scheduled against Griggs Makota. And if they beat Griggs Makota, they would for sure get a playoff game either in the first round, or if they could take care of business the next 2 weeks, they would earn a first round bye and then be a top 8 seed going into the playoffs, as if you win your region, you're automatically a top 8 seed. 4th down and 17, pitch play, goes to the outside. Dow's immediately reverses course. Enderlin just coming in unabated to start things off there was Colton Iwood, and then finishing him off was Eli Christensen, and that'll be a turnover on downs after the loss.
Yeah, you never want to see, a turnover and downs at any time during the game, but when you got younger guys coming in, a lot of them getting a lot of their first reps in the spots they're playing, you didn't turn the ball over. Everybody held on to it, and we're just giving it back on downs, not on turnover.
And with 7:33 left to play here in this 4th quarter, what does a shutout mean any time in the game of football, Hoots?
A lot of coaches, it's the be-all, end-all. To me, it's way more important that your studs are getting this rest at the end of the game. If you give up 6 here, of course, you never want to be the guy that gives up the points, but to me, it's not the end of the world. The game is not in doubt right now. Just make sure your best guys aren't getting the extra pounding here.
As under center again will be Wall for the Enderlin Eagles. 4 linemen at the line here for Maple River. As Wall will have the I formation handoff here, coming to the outside past the 30 to about the 32-yard line here for the Enderlin Eagles. On the rush is Christensen. Christensen with a gain of 4. Christensen will have his first carry of the night here for the Enderlin Eagles. Reminder on our post-game show, we'll get to our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game, also our RDK Enterprises Precision Play of the Game. We'll hear from some of the victorious Raiders as well. That's still all to come on our post-game show on homecoming night here in Hope, North Dakota. One wide receiver split out to the outside. It will be the I formation again. Christensen dots the I. Under center is Wall, trying for the little power play on the near sideline, and Christensen gets past the 35, past the 40 for a gain of 9.
Ryan Adargo there has been number 1 freshman for Enderlin. He's been a quarterback for pretty much his entire life. He's shifted to the offensive line this year just with the new co-op and a lack of guys. Great block there on the outside that freed him up for that 5-6 yard gain.
Oh, really good job, and we're able to see there Christensen again able to handle a little bit Eli of the afterburners to get to that outside and pick up the first down. Clock continues to wind as we get to that 6-minute mark here on our City of Hope scoreboard on your live event. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and Reggie Funk with you here on what feels like fall. And it makes sense. It was the fall equinox yesterday on the calendar, for crying out loud. Here we go. First down and 10 for Enderlin. They'll need the Raider 49 for the first, and there is a false start on the outside here, and the tight end knew it immediately in glare. 4 penalties now for 25 yards. Teaching moments for both teams here, Hoots. I know sometimes in a game, as fans, you just see the writing on the wall. You kind of see, okay, one team's going to win, one team's going to lose, but what does it do, whether you're Larry or Eric in this situation, in terms of getting reps and, getting varsity minutes here on Friday Night Lights?
Every one of these matter, whether it's 1 rep or 10 here in the last, 5-6 minutes, every rep matters, because if they make one big play here or make one high quality play, that could be something that keeps them coming out next year and maybe becomes a potential starter for you next year.
Wall has some time, throws it down the field, looking for Bartholomew, who catches it at the 35-yard line. Nice catch by Bartholomew, as that's going to go for over 20 yards, make it 29 yards on the pitch and catch.
Okay, tight coverage by the freshman there, Dow's. Tight coverage, but he's, as you know, he gets more seasoning as a varsity corner or defensive player. He's going to learn to turn and make a play on the ball. When that receiver leaves his feet, then it's time for you to react as well with your hands and feet.
Bartholomew now 2 catches for 40 yards. Trey Wall 3 completions on 7 passes for 45 yards. And now all of a sudden you'll have that same opportunity here with Bartholomew on the outside going up against the aforementioned Dows. Fumble on the snap, and Wall does as best as he could to get a couple of yards there on the Army crawl for about a gain of 3.
Just a mishandled snap and then trying to make something out of nothing there and end up getting a couple yards.
As the Enderlin Eagles right now will handle it. 2nd down and 7 upcoming here, trying to get into the end zone with about 4 minutes left to play in this contest. Nice crowd here on hand as well in Hope, as you have the cars lined up across the way. You have the rope across the entire way of the football field as well. Lights are on, and well, we get to this point of the season. We know the postseason is not too far away. Just 2 regular season weeks left in 9B football after tonight. Under center again goes the Enderlin Eagles. Wall looking for Bartholomew down the field, and he beat everybody. Incomplete, though, on the post pattern at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, another good route. Just led him a little bit too much, but that's something that, T can look at here as we come down the stretch. The way Trey threw that ball right there, threw it at a higher level than T typically does in those spots. Leading that receiver, letting him run underneath it so you don't have to catch a dime right on your face mask.
As we're getting some new faces again into the game here for Maple River. Wyatt Morinson, a sophomore lineman at 5'10", 165 pounds. It's one of those games where you just keep on looking down at a program or a roster and you see a lot of different faces, some different numbers getting some action here for both teams. Wall, pocket collapses. Silling trying to make the tackle, and he's met in the back. There is a play coming in as Calvin Santrum finished off Wall for the tackle. As we have one of the car alarms going off in the background as well. That might be from a ripple effect of maybe the cannon going off a few minutes ago.
Aftershock.
Aftershock on that one. I know I've jumped a couple times here tonight, not expecting that.
If it would be perfectly timed with the touchdown every single time, it wouldn't catch me off guard. The last one was about 5 seconds late, and it threw me for a loop.
And we'll see what the penalty is here and who it's on a little bit later on in the play, when you're going to have Wall almost get taken down for a sack and a loss of 5 as it stands right now. As Wall's talking with our white hat right now, seeing if it's going to be on Maple River and where the call will go across. We'll have a chop block here on Enderlin. So this will get moved back a little bit more here for the Eagles. From the spot where the foul was at the 36-yard line, and they'll mark it off there, or the 35, and go to the 45. 3rd down here upcoming for the Enderlin Eagles. Just a handful of minutes remain before we get to our post-game show, a game that kicked off nearly 2 hours ago, just after the 7 o'clock hour at 7:03. Currently getting close to that 9 o'clock hour here on this Friday night. Pristine evening for late September. Yeah, we had rain for most of the day, but once we got to kickoff time, the rain subsided and able to have, when we look at Old Glory across the way, not too much wind here this evening in Hope. Man-to-man coverage on the outside again. Wall looking for Bartholomew. Unwinds, and that one down the field at the numbers at the 15. Incomplete, and it's a 4th down upcoming now for Enderlin.
And keep taking shots to the end zone. That's exactly what you want. He's getting a clean pocket and, one-on-one coverage, but Dow's, once again, good coverage. The ball's just slightly overthrown.
All that Maple River needs to do is play this one, make sure they don't get past the 26-yard line for the first, and then they'll find themselves just having to take victory formation for the Enderlin Eagles. If you can get the first down here, you might get 1 or 2 more shots to try to throw it in the end zone and get the goose egg off the scoreboard here. As Wall under center takes the drop, has some time, evades the sack, Wall rolls Unwinds, takes a shot, throws it down the field. That's going to be complete by Bartholomew to the 21-yard line. Enough for the first down. 3 catches now for Bartholomew for 64 yards as Wall is able to get the completion now with 69 yards passing on 4 attempts so far here for the Enderlin Eagles. Clock now at 55 seconds.
First-year football player, but he just used his basketball skills right there, kind of posted him up and then just high pointed the ball as best he possibly could, made a big play for him.
So first down here for the Eagles as quickly try to get to line, have a chance for 1, maybe 2 plays if they can hurry quickly. As Wall goes back under center here for Enderlin. This one, a step and a drop. Going to be thrown into the end zone. Caught for the touchdown. And for the first time since August the 19th, the Eagles are in the end zone with the 21-yard passing touchdown to the tight end in Caden Ammerman.
Good for them. Get someone on the board, get the monkey off the back. Maybe that'll help moving forward.
Touchdown there with Ammerman, and that's going to be the opportunity here with the 2-point conversion. And the timeout will be coming up with Enderlin. We'll keep it here with 10 seconds left to play. What do you hope that does if you're an Enderlin fan moving forward? And a really nice play, too, by Wall to hit Ammerman and just try there in the end zone hoots.
Absolutely. You're just looking to get on the board any way possible. We talked about that in the pregame. Offense, defense, special teams, however it happens, it happens. It's just, you feel good for them. You don't want that hanging over you going into next week. Now we can say, all right, now let's open it up. Maybe they find something here. Maybe it's, rather than those single routes with Bartholomew, we start getting Ammerman out on the field, and they start glaring out on a pass route from the opposite tight end spot. Maybe flooding the field with a couple extra pass catchers is something that they can look forward to next week.
And Maple River held scoreless in this fourth quarter. Enderlin, they'll get 6 or potentially 8 points here. We'll have a kickoff, and I'll pretty much put this one done and finish it up here from Hope, North Dakota tonight. Still to come on our post-game show. Also a look at some of the final numbers across the state of North Dakota in some of the final games that we have action. Also, we'll hear from some of the Maple River players as well here in this one, and possibly even head coach Larry Fontaine talking about a home win, their first home win of the season, 3-0 on the road, 1-2 now at home. But when you play Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion, and Weimar Litchwood, those are 2 tall orders to try to get a couple of wins at home as Wall goes right up the middle and not going to be able to get in for the 2-point conversion as Liam Setchum is there on the wrap-up. So with 4 seconds left to play here, they'll just have to put this one on the tee, and the final will be 48-6 will be ending up the final here after they just have to kick this one away. So the win here coming for Maple River, that improves them now to 4-2 on the season, 2-0 in the region. The loss for the Enderlin Eagles drops them to 1-5 on the season, 0-2 in Region 2. Enderlin will host Mayport CG for their final home game of the season next week, while the Maple River Raiders will go up against Griggs Makota as well. Some finals rolling through. Hillsborough Central Valley over Harvey Wells County, 36-6 for the Burros. After the third quarter play, Mayport CG leads Lemoore Litchfield Marion 26-22. Patriots over the Lobos going into the final 12 minutes of play. Fourth-ranked Shanley over Bismarck Century going into the fourth quarter, 14-7, and a final in 11B, Carrington over Park River Area, 28-6. So those are some of the scores coming through. And Grat County Flasher, no doubt winners over Hettinger Scranton, 40-6 tonight. That is one to kind of go through. And the winner, the inside track there of winning the Region 6 title. So the Flash looking to win the Region 6 title with that win over Hettinger Scranton here earlier this evening. So Enderlin will put this one on the tee and finish it up. But how about Mayport CG right now, who's 3 quarters to play, trying to knock off the winning streak of the Lobos as well. They haven't lost so far this season, going back to what they had last year. You got to go back to the state semifinal over, 2 years ago for the last time the Lobos have lost.
Yeah, Mayville's got the running game to be able to maybe run out the clock there if they can just, keep the ball out of the Lemoore Lobos' hands.
As Enderlin just trying a little scrum kick, and that's not going to be able to go over the 10 yards. So Maple River will come out here, and all that they'll have to do is take a knee and earn the win, and that is going to be your final here tonight as well. On our City of Hope scoreboard, Maple River picks up the victory by a final of 48-6. one QB knee, and then we'll take a look at some other finals coming through on the state of North Dakota here tonight as well. Final thoughts here for you, Nathan, on this football game and the win here for the Raiders.
Like I talked about in the pregame, this is one that was circled on the calendar. They were able to keep their emotions in check and just concentrate on execution every single play and came out with their first home win of the year.
And that does it here for the Raiders, who improved to 2-0 in Region 2 play with the victory as they're able to finish this one off. And the cannon booms one more time in Hope by a final of 48-6. That one has come to a close here. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, Reggie Funk with you. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back after this, take a look at the final numbers. We'll hear from some of the victorious players, continue to go through out-of-town scoreboard and more on homecoming night. It's the Raiders with the 48-6 win.
Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region with the Coaches Show every Wednesday night on YourLiveEvent.com.
Goes deep down the middle, has a man, Soka Porter! Soka Porter to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, and taken down there.
We'll dive into the latest stories from North Dakota and Minnesota.
And there's the block by Reese.
That's the Coaches Show with me, Joe Lancello, on YourLiveEvent.com every Wednesday night starting at 7.
Take a look at the Massey Ferguson 1800 M Series premium compact tractors at Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9, North Ada. The 1800 M Series gives you the extra comfort and ease of use along with up to 39 horsepower and the versatility you need for long days on the toughest tasks. You also get a rear PTO with added features to make running your implement simpler. Visit with Chuck or Neil at Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9, North Ada. Call 218-784-2961 to set up a demo or learn more about the Massey Ferguson 1800 M Series.
Goose River Heating and Cooling, Hillsboro, serving the Hillsboro and surrounding communities, ready to provide you with service work to existing and new customers. Whether Corey and the crew installed your heating and cooling system or not, they're ready to assist you with your service concerns. And if it's time to update your heating and cooling systems, whether it's your home, farm shop, a cabin, or office building, give Corey and the crew at Goose River Heating and Cooling a call. 701-430-1990. That's Goose River Heating and Cooling, Hillsboro, serving the Hillsboro area and surrounding communities.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, and great educational opportunities, there hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. With the Hope Golf Course, you can enjoy your personal time in town. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
As we continue here on our post-game show, let's get to some of our final accolades here tonight. Let's first get to our Enbridge Energy, a player of the game in this one. Enbridge Energy, for more information, Energy for Life. Learn more at Enbridge.com for career opportunities. That, again, is Enbridge.com for career opportunities in this one. And Nathan Hoots, as it kind of is a 1-2 combination here, I think, of Clay Hovelson and alongside with them in Dylan Reamer.
Yeah, absolutely. The two-headed monster that they had tonight. Dylan really feasted when too many guys were focusing on Hovelson. And you know what? That's great. You got to have a guy that's willing to step up and make the plays as soon as, the ball is getting in your hands. And like you said, you had 3 touchdowns. That's an amazing night for him as a senior.
They combined for 238 yards with him and Reamer and 5 touchdowns on 20 attempts. As much as we talked about Homelson, how about Reamer? Larry Fontaine hit it on the head on our pregame show saying we got to give him the ball a little bit more, and when he did, it really paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to take advantage of the carries that you're given in a run-heavy offense, and previous games, Hovelson had 43 carries. I can't imagine Reamer had more than 5 in that game. So, tonight he earned the trust of his coach. If he didn't already have it, he certainly has it now moving forward.
And we'll let Nathan Hoots head down to the other end of the field here in a moment as they're looking to break the huddle, and we'll hear from some of the players. But let's get to our RDK Enterprises Precision play of the game as well. RDK Enterprises wishes you a safe harvest season, and they thank you for your business. Go online to planterdoc.com. That's planterdoc.com for more information on RDK Enterprises. Where does it start for you? Is it the onside kick? Is it the stop on turnover on downs to begin the game? Is it the kick out block by Reamer, which got Hovelson in the end zone for the first time? Where do you start in this one, Hoots?
As a coach, you're looking at momentum shifting plays for your play of the game, and it happened early on. It was recovering that onside kick. Like I said, it was directly heading out of bounds. It stopped like your pitching wedge on the 18th green. And he dove on it like I said, he was shot out of a cannon, and there was no one that was going to stop him from getting that ball. Very impressive, and to me, play of the game.
And that is our RDK Enterprises Precision play of the game, as the team is having a homecoming, a little bit of a photo celebration at the goal line here, as we'll go over some of the final numbers in this one as well. Maple River able to have just a really good night, top to final, top to bottom. 13 carries for Hovelson for 132 and 2 scores. Reamer again, 7 carries, 106 for 3 touchdowns. 3 of his first 4 carries were rushing touchdowns. Dahl had 6 carries for 27 yards. Rohrbeck had 2 carries for 28 yards. He got in the end zone as well. You were able to get Silling in there, Dow's as well. T. Silling didn't throw the ball in the second half. He finished 2 of 5 for 43 yards and a touchdown. You also had Drogan 1 catch for 17 yards, and Santrum 1 for 26 here for the Enderlin Eagles. They were led offensively, 10 carries for 47 yards for Wendell and 14 carries for 27 yards for Wall through the air. Wall with 90 yards passing through the air. Bartholomew, 3 receptions for 64 yards. Let's head it down to the field now, where Nathan Hoots is standing by with the head football coach of Larry Fontaine, able to get to 2-0 in Region 2 play. Nathan, let's send it down to you with the head coach.
Hey, Coach Fontaine with me here after a big home win. Bigger because it's a region game, even bigger because of the Enderlin co-op breaking up from last year. Talk to me about the energy that was in practice all week long because of the team you were playing.
I don't think there was really much of a difference. I really don't know. I know the kids wanted to play hard against Enderlin, but our kids from Whole Page, I mean, we really didn't have, we're ready for Maple, or excuse me, we're ready for Mayville. But the kids from Tower City and Buffalo, yeah, they wanted to play really hard, and the energy was there, and there was a lot of positive talk about how we needed to come out and play hard and stick it to them from the get-go. And yesterday, like when I talked to you earlier, Thursday's practice sometimes don't matter, and yesterday's practice was not so great. And I talked to the kids afterwards, and I'm like, hey, forget about it. We'll be all right. We'll be ready to go. And the kids were here all day, and the distractions of homecoming were a lot, but they were here and they played well. They came out to play, and Enderlin, stick it to us right away. But we had some big turnovers. The kids played hard, and we kind of wanted Dylan to have a big game because we knew they're going to key on Clay. So we got the ball to Dylan Reamer, and he stepped up and he played well. And I think our quarterback is finally seeing the game a little better. It's slowing down for him. The kid played well, no mental mistakes. He's a tough kid. We like him a lot, and so we're really happy the way the young man played.
Well, you stole about all of the questions that I was going to ask you. No, hey, the 1-2 punch with Reamer and Hovelson, T playing really well. But what stuck out to me was it. Did you purposely onside kick that one early on that Rohrbeck recovered right on the end?
Oh, absolutely not. No, we just laid him out. It was just hard football. He just hustled down there and just put a lick on him. It was fun to see. It was right on our sideline. We could hear it. Probably heard it over there.
Absolutely. So many momentum shifting plays of the game. Would you say that's the biggest one? Was it any specific turnover or play that stuck out in your mind?
I would think that kind of took the wind out of them. They really put a lick on that young man, but that's what football is. It's a hard game for hard people. And, we kind of took the sails out of the wind out of their sails. And then, they were playing up, and then they were putting 9 in the box, and we just ran outside.
All right. Hey, congratulations. Looks like playoffs is certainly something that's going to be happening here next week. Big game against Griggs Midkota. Possible inside track to getting the 2 seed and playing at home, with then a region championship game the following week against Mayville. Talk to me about what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks.
We've been waiting for this for a long time. We've been licking our chops since June when we went to camp at Valley. Okay, we had the schedule. We looked at it. Coach Bonestagel had Wyndmere circled because he's a Wyndmere guy. Me, I had Mayville circled because that's our rival, and we want to beat Mayville. And we got to get through Griggs. We get through Griggs, and then we'll get ready for Mayville. We're excited. we can't wait. It's great atmosphere, and you're right. We're going to make the playoffs, and we get a home game, and it's going to be a great time.
Hey, absolutely. Thanks, Coach. Congratulations. And I'm going to grab a couple of your players here, all right?
Have a good day. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Nathan Hoots. We're going to take a quick break to allow you to kind of find some of those players. Again, your final 48-6 Maple River with the win. We'll hear from some of the players next on your live event.
There is another way to minimize your farm's risk and protect its equity with margin protection coverage. This is Bethany Rentz, crop insurance agent with Irie Insurance. Margin protection provides coverage against an unexpected decrease or increase in operating margin. In other words, we can put a policy in place to protect you from changing input costs and crop prices on your farm. Let us help you explore this option between now and September 30th to get you covered. For more information, go to irieins.com.
You're protected and appreciated at Irie.
My name is Jared, born and raised in Minnesota, and I'm a project director at Enbridge. Enbridge is more than a pipeline company. It's a company participating in renewable energy projects in Minnesota and abroad, and I'm really proud to be working here.
We believe a cleaner energy future is achievable. For over 20 years, we've been early adopters of renewable energy, and we're proudly committed to net zero emissions by 2050. To hear more from Jared, visit enbridge.com/Jared. That's JERRID.
We continue here on our post-game show. Let's get to some of the finals again. We'll get in a moment across the region, but first things first, let's send it down to one of our homecoming kings here in this Maple River School District. That is not Nathan Hoots, but the guy who's with them in Clay Hovelson. Nathan, take it away.
From a guy who did not win Homecoming King to a guy that did win Homecoming King. Talk to me about the emotions that played a part in this week going against a team that you were teammates with, a lot of those guys.
We knew we just had to come out, and all the Hope Page guys wanted to play their best too. So we just came out and smacked them, I guess.
Hey, yeah, you certainly play with a physical mentality. Talk to me about your backfield mate, Dylan Reamer. Every time he touched the ball, it seemed like good things happened.
Me and Dylan, we both run pretty well. If I'm not getting it, Dylan's getting it, and they don't know who to guard.
All right, hey, talking to Coach Berg said before the game, 18 eyeballs on 22. All right, everybody stepped up tonight. Anyone in particular besides yourself and Mr. Reamer that played a heck of a game for you tonight?
The whole line did great. Connor Dahl and Marty Rohrbeck, they're just blocking anybody in the hole.
Okay, what I thought biggest momentum shifting play of the game was Marty getting that recovery on the sideline. Anything else that stuck out to you that went on throughout this game?
Just the guys were gang tackling and just working together as a team.
All right, hey, enjoy the rest that you got in the fourth quarter. A couple big games coming up. You got Griggs Makota. Congratulations. I think you guys have made the playoffs. Got the inside track now to the 2 seed and a home game with then a potential matchup against Mayville in the final game of the year for a region championship. What's going through your mind here week by week?
We're just going to take it week by week at a time and win by win, hopefully. And that's just the end result. We want to win.
All right. Hey, awesome job. I'm going to grab your backfield mate here in a little bit. Nice job.
Off mic now. That again is Nathan Hoots with Clay Hovelson, as we'll allow Nathan Hoots to have the opportunity to go grab Dylan Reamer as well. Final on your live event from earlier today, Fargo South defeats Fargo North 17-14 in 11A football. So more than likely will be a new number 2 team in the state. But let's toss it down for one more interview here with Nathan Hoots standing by with Dylan Reamer. Hoots.
Hey, I'm here with Dylan Reamer. 3 touchdowns tonight. Career high for you?
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. Okay. We talked earlier in the game with Chase up in the booth. And Eric Berg said, the coach at Enderlin, that they were really focused on taking away Hovelson. The carries that you get, I would say you maximize them tonight. What's going through your mind, the opportunity that you get when your number's called in the huddle?
Just trying to be like Clay. Like Fontaine said, they're going to focus on Clay. So Fontaine gave me a chance, and I took it.
I tell you what, if you didn't have your trust before tonight, he certainly has it tonight. The ability that you can now open up the playbook and get many guys involved. Talk to me about somebody else that stood out to you tonight.
Definitely Marty. That run over there, that was incredible. Dove for the pylon. Marty Rohrbeck.
Hey, phenomenal job. Talk to me defensively. Shut out the Eagles for, almost 4 quarters. Talk to me about something that you focused on defensively tonight to put up a 0.
Oh, we definitely focused on 81. He had that height advantage for us, but, we got him.
Hey, Preston Dow's freshman.
Yep.
Okay, comes in, plays a heck of a game. Did a great job at linebacker, did a great job at corner, in my opinion, all game long. Talk to me about what you saw all week long when he found out that he was going to be starting and playing a big role for you.
His face lit up. He's been working harder than all of us, so he deserves this shot. So
all right, so like I've asked your coach, and I asked Clay the same thing, playoff bound, all right? But now we have an opportunity, play Griggs next week, get a home game in the playoffs, and then following week, maybe play for a region championship against Mayville. Talk to me about the mentality. Are you already looking at Mayville? Are you going week by week? What are you thinking right now?
We are looking at Mayville, but we're not taking Griggs lightly.
Great answer. Good job. Hey, congratulations. First win of the year at home. Back up to you, Chase.
Very much, Hoots, with that one. Yeah, this is one of those that's always just the interesting things of when you get to this time of the year, how do you look at certain things? And you hit it on the head. For the Enderlin Eagles, officially their season comes to a close in terms of trying to make the postseason, but they still have a chance to continue to build and grow this program, even though their next game with Mayport CG is a whole nother animal at particular times, and that's a team that, ironically, Maple River will finish off with the rest of the season. Final notes for you on this one, Hoots, when you take a look at it from an Enderlin side and Maple River side. Your coach, Eric, for Enderlin, what are some things that you just got to continue to work on here over the last 2 weeks, even though you know you got the 90-pound gorilla in the region, in Region 2, coming to Hendrickson Field, a week from tonight?
Yeah, but you got on the board. People might look back and be like, hey, why didn't you take your starters out at the end? You know what? You need to score. That was something that you needed as a program. Get that monkey off your back, get that score at the end. It's something you can build on. They saw things at the end there. If their line can hold up, if they can face a pass rush that they can block, Trey's got the arm and he's got the weapons downfield. That's something they can certainly build on going forward in the last 2 games.
And we got an out-of-town score here with 1:17 left on the clock. Lamore Litchell-Marion gets the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to lead Mayport CG now 30-26. That is a non-region game. And also, how about this in 11A? Down goes number 2 North, and down goes number 1 Jamestown. Wapaton 14, Jamestown 13. Welcome to Friday Night Lights here in late September, Hoots.
This is absolutely awesome. Every single division, it seems like there's chaos. And, even if Lemoore hangs on to win, having someone push them is exactly what everybody else in the state needs to see. They are not invincible. Teams can score against them. That gives them hope moving forward to anyone that makes the playoffs.
Hey, Nathan, thanks so much for your time tonight. Looking forward to it again a week from this evening back in Hope.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
On behalf of Nathan Hoots and our cameraman, Reggie Funk, I'm Chase Miller, repeating tonight's final on our City of Hope scoreboard. Maple River 48, Enderlin 6. The Eagles now 1-5 on the season, host Mayport CG a week from tonight. While Maple River improves to 4-2 on the year, they punch their ticket to the playoffs. Now it's just a matter of what seed will they be out of Region 2 as they host Griggs Makota on senior night. If they win that game, they will for surely host a playoff matchup. And if they can beat Mayport CG in 2 weeks, then they would earn a bye and they would be into the second round. So that's upcoming here for Maple River. We're back at it a week from tonight for senior night between Maple River, the Raiders, and Griggs Makota. Thank you so much for tuning in from Hope. Have a good rest of your Friday night and enjoy the weekend.